Welcome, what's up everybody? This is episode 3 of Bad Plans D&D. We're back for another crazy and hopefully epic and awesome adventure. We are a bunch of friends who play Dungeons and Dragons together all the time. And we make, we make terrible plans over and over again. Usually they're pretty funny. Usually they end up with some pretty good stories. And my name is Jay. I'm the Dungeon Master. And we play this game, every week on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. here on Twitch. All the videos and the content that we do end up making their way to YouTube. So if you missed episode 1 and 2, you can still find them on YouTube as well as in the video section here on the Twitch channel. All of the links to YouTube and all the socials, all the other stuff, places where you might find us, is in the Twitch panel. So you can find all that information if you want to. We play every week. We also do a sort of midweek, like we call it, even though it's technically on Sundays usually. Kind of like an after show type of thing where we all get together and just hang out, talk about the game, shoot the shit, just have fun. And but this is our main game, and we are 3 episodes in. Is there anything you guys want to shout out, or anybody you want to say hello to? Anything like that before we jump in?
She's not
moms,
watching.
etc.
Oh,
man.
It was her birthday a couple days ago anyway.
I'll clip this and send it to her.
That's right. I will say that sometimes the midweek thing can sometimes also be Saturdays, so keep a lookout for that.
That's why you gotta follow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right.
totally.
To know when we're live.
We're also
So
super
my
active
mom may actually be on. So
Oh, really?
hi mom.
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's
Hello
totally
to all
fine.
the moms. Hi.
Yeah, and hello to everybody in chat in general. Glad you guys are here. We actually are generally not going to be in chat ourselves as we're playing the game, but if you stop by that midweek show, we're in chat the whole time, answering questions, hanging out, and stuff like that, so please do. We're also super active in Discord, which if somebody in chat could type, that exclamation Discord, it'll pop the link in there. So if you're not already in our Discord server, you can come join. We talk about D&D all week, just have a lot of fun in there, so stop on by.
And toothpicks. That's what we learned a lot about this morning.
We learn a lot about toothpicks, yes. Yes, we do.
You should.
All right. So, recap. After a long journey at sea, you've arrived in the coastal village of Portsmouth. You met the alderman, Remus, and learned that, among other things, the nearby iron mines have completely run dry. They've salvaged what they can from the ruins of the once flourishing coastal town. But the alderman knows that it won't be enough to sustain them forever. He's thought of a solution, though, and he needs your help. A nearby island, known to the locals as Thunderstone, could be their salvation. Records from before the fall show an old dwarven mine on the island. The ledgers say it was abandoned long before its time, and Remus thinks it could be exactly what they need to get the miners back to work and start to get things back on track. But, naturally, there's a problem. Anyone who sails even remotely close to Thunderstone invokes the wrath of a seemingly supernatural and savage storm. Furious winds and pounding rains lash the skies. The seas become enraged. Massive swells rise from the depths and repel any vessel trying to get close. Only the most cunning sailors will even dare go near it. Traveling to the island is nigh impossible. Or is it? Your meeting was cut short when a group of undead clawed their way out of the harbor and attacked the docks. You ran to help, and one of the creatures, a 12-foot-tall shambling monster made up of mounds of kelp, sea debris, and just a mass of walking marine flora, proved to be more dangerous than you expected when it almost ended things for Jeshi. It swallowed him whole. Luckily, Thorkum, always full of big ideas, came up with a heroic plan. He dashed down the beach and into range, casting an enlarge spell on Jeshi, who broke free of his restraints and, with everyone's help, defeated the creature. Yes, Thorkum is always enormously resourceful. Later that day, Vinadil, Belrissa, and Kins went to meet the notorious Captain Cobb, who, according to Remus, is the only man who might be willing to sail near Thunderstone. Instead of Cobb, however, you met his granddaughter, Velma. She told you Cobb doesn't like to sail with, well, anyone, really, and certainly not those that he hasn't had a drink with. So, it was off to the sleeping savior. You found Cobb 3 sheets to the wind, drinking alone in the corner, and through a combination of wit, charm, and ale-related bribery, you convinced him to take you aboard his ship, the Bastion. We begin the next morning, just before dawn. You've met Cobb and Velma at the docks, and you've just boarded the ship. It seems like he might be in a better mood. It's hard to tell, might be a hangover. But at the very least, he seems to have kept his word and is ready to sail. So, what's the plan?
I hate ships. Why are we doing this again?
How far do you think you can swim? How far is this? Velma, how far is this?
5 leagues. Definitely 5 leagues.
Couple leagues.
Yeah.
Nobody. That could take forever.
I have no idea, actually.
So Velma is probably maybe 16 or 17-year-old girl. She's got this bright kind of brownish reddish hair. It's shaved on the side, almost like a Viking kind of haircut. And she's got this really long ponytail that kind of goes most of the way down her back, just kind of loosely tied. And she wears kind of a light brown tank top, and she's got sort of her lower half. She's got these big boots that come up almost knee high. She's like full fisherman from the waist down and teenage girl from the waist up. It's a really kind of interesting sight as you see her. She's over on the side of the ship, kind of seems to be just coiling up some rope. And what did you want to ask her?
Yeah, how far is it to the... What was it? Thunderstone?
Josh, you don't say league. I will push you off this boat.
She looks up, almost. It looks like she's not exactly a morning person. It's a little bit before dawn at this point. And she kind of looks up and seems a little unsure. And she looks over to Cobb, who's at the back of the ship. It's a sort of a longship style vessel with a rudder on the back starboard side, and he's kind of sitting on a rail, just kind of hunched over a little bit, seems to be rubbing his temple. You guys gave him a lot to drink last night, so he seems like he's in kind of rough shape, not completely alert himself, but he's manning the oar as you guys sort of make your way through Rock Harbor and out towards the channel that's going to take you out into open ocean. Velma looks over to Cobb and she says, "Grandpa Henry, where exactly are we going anyway?" He frowns at her. "You'll refer to me as Captain when we're aboard this ship, as I've told you before. Is that understood?" She kind of perks up a little bit. "Aye, Captain." And he looks back and he says, "Good. Our heading's north and a bit east, towards the Burnt Ledge, and ultimately to Thunderstone." He looks over at you, Jessie, and he says, "It's about 3 miles, but it'll be anything but smooth sailing, so get comfortable."
Yeah.
Yeah, I sit down in the middle of the boat, head down.
3 miles isn't that long. We'll be fine. Everything's going to be fine. We'll be back before lunch.
I walk over to Vin and, because I don't think we've had a chance to talk last night. "Hey, Vin, where'd you go off to?"
Oh, I just had to get out of that room. I can't believe you guys could stand the smoke, couldn't see, could barely breathe. So I just needed to go outside for a while. I had a chance to talk to Captain Rain.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Went back in and watched Jessie stumble up the stairs and crash into the tree bed. So that was pretty much it.
Oh, what'd you talk to Rain about?
Oh, well, just, backup plans. But here we are on a boat heading out towards the island, so apparently he's just going to enjoy a little tip. Hefty tip.
Oh, okay.
We don't
10
have
whole
backup
gold
plans
pieces.
here. What are you talking about?
Yeah, quietly to kids. Yep, that's yeah, that was it.
I mean,
Just a little conversation with Rain. I liked him. I want him to stick around. So I also encouraged him to, maybe take a little break from his normal route. I think he was already planning on that anyway, but
Yeah, I hope he doesn't run into that octopus again, because that was a bad time.
and I get like his boat was way bigger than this. When we talk ship, I was thinking ship. This is like a canoe.
Yeah, how
Not a
big is this
sail.
boat?
Like, how big is this thing? Like, yeah.
When you first
What
described
do
it-
we see? Well, like when we look around, like I was definitely picturing in my head like metal plates on a large ship. At this
Yeah.
point, maybe it was just late and my eyes were a little blurry. So, what are we actually on?
Sure. Yeah. So the bastion is it's if you picture like a sort of almost like a Viking longship, but a little wider, but about the same length, and it's a dual mast. So there's a main mast and a head sail as well, and the port side of the ship is sort of covered in these metal and just random like bronze and who even knows what kind of metal plates. And the plates themselves have just been sort of haphazardly stuck to the side, and it looks like the ship has been repaired a lot. You can see damage everywhere that's been, patched up with different pieces of wood, and the ship looks like it's been through hell, basically. It's about, I would say 20 feet long or so, and there's definitely enough space for all of you, but it's a little tight. It's a little awkward with this many people, and you can tell Cobb is a little bit uncomfortable with how many folks are in the boat, but he doesn't seem particularly bothered by it at this point in time anyway. The one thing that's interesting about the boat too is the way it sits in the water. So due to the weight not just of the plates on the port side, but the weight of everybody, it's very low. It's sitting very low in the water, and you've noticed that as you were getting the ship ready, Velma and Cobb were sort of there's a bunch of ballast and just like big planks of wood, and sort of there's even like a giant sack full of rocks on the right hand side of the ship that counterweight the giant iron plates on the opposite side. So it's a very unique vessel, but you're right, it is far from big, and you guys are a little bit cramped.
To occupy my seasick brain, is there anything that I can repair in the vicinity of where I am?
Make an investigation check. Take a look around. What do you see? For anybody in chat who might be new to this game, basically the way this works is I will occasionally call on these guys to make a check of some kind. Like in this case, Thorcum is looking for something, so he's going to investigate. He has to roll a dice, and whatever that dice roll is will determine what he sees. If it's a low roll, he probably doesn't see much. If it's a really high roll, maybe you see something really interesting, but we'll find
23.
out. 23. Now that is a very nice roll. It's very high. So what you see is that the repair job, although complete, you don't see any sort of like abundantly broken or obviously overtly broken things. The repair job is, it's not. They probably don't have a shipwright in Portsmouth. You feel like you'd probably do a better job. But you kind of like, just to keep your brain occupied and stop you from feeling sick, you do look around and you can see that everything seems pretty tight. Whoever did this work is thorough, if not a little messy.
Okay.
I want to go talk to Cobb. So I woke up to him like, so Cobb, how close to this island have you been before?
It looks over. You can get within about a quarter mile of the island. The sea won't let you get much closer. You'll see what I mean. There's a spot out there Velma and I go fishing known as the Burnt Ledge. It's where we catch spines. And we go out there quite often. I'm familiar with the area, but never been any closer than that to the island itself.
So when we get there, within that quarter mile, is there anything we can do to help get the ship closer?
He kind of smirks a little bit. He says, "Well, dearie, that's why you're here, 'cause I certainly can't do it. If my ship gets even close to that storm, it's going to rip it into shreds. I'm counting on you to solve that problem for us, or you'll be swimming."
Gotcha. go talk to the group now. All right, guys, what is our plan here?
You know, something just occurred to me. I think metal sinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, like, what if we get all this metal? How are we supposed to get it back? Maybe 14 could carry it. He doesn't need to breathe. Could he just, like, carry it underwater?
I think we're just getting information.
I don't think we're like mining
hauling
the
stuff back.
mines.
Okay.
Yeah, your task, as you
Somebody
remember
else's
it
problem.
clearly, is Remus is looking for access to this island. He's already got miners, right? There's people who used to work the mines. They have plenty of ships, but it's access to the island itself that eludes them, and he's counting on you guys to sort of, well, he doesn't quite know. Investigate, figure it out, at least understand what's going on. But you don't actually have to bring a bunch of raw materials back with you.
Belrissa, recently you learned some new spells related to water, didn't you?
I did.
Like what were those, or that? I don't know.
So
Multiple, singular?
Well, I could make us all have the ability to breathe underwater for a time. So I'm thinking, like, what you might be thinking is if we get close enough and then we dive into the water and dive deep enough, we can go underneath all of the stormy seas and just kind of swim to shore.
How far is it? A quarter of a mile?
Quarter mile.
you said?
That's not that bad.
You guys remember the monster fish Cub talked about? Or was that just me and Jessie?
I don't remember.
I
I think
think
that was
that's-
just me and Jessie.
He said he fishes them, so I mean I think there would be monster fish around there. Rip
mean,
a boat
but-
in half.
We've dealt with monster fish. We came out okay. Right?
Boy,
I think we should just go for it.
that walking on the top of water thing would be handy about now.
Yeah, I don't have that.
But breathing underwater. Kens, what about you and your druid stuff? What do you have that affects wind or water, rain?
Ooh, well, I mean, I have my thundercloud if we need to blast people, but I feel like that's a bad idea around water.
You should
I-
make the strong. Can't you make a storm stronger? You should do that.
Well, that's
No.
Well, then
How-
you make
how
it
would that
stronger,
accomplish
and then we
anything?
go because we'll go around that part.
what?
What?
Wait, what do you mean we'll go around that part?
Like you make it stronger, and then like if that's then we'll know that like that's too strong.
Oh, I see. Okay. Wait. But my call lightning, if it's stormy, I can take control over the existing storm.
Ooh.
So I wonder if I can move it.
That could be cool.
You think like, oh my gosh, what if this other storm is another one of you? There's like you. There's a you on.
You
the
think that
island
there's another
that's
druid
just like.
that is causing a storm infinitely,
Well, yeah.
and it's just druid storm versus
How
druid
many
storm.
Kinses would it take to have it just a constant storm? 8 Kinses? A league's worth?
I'm
A
not
league's
sure.
worth.
As long as I don't get hit, I mean. So it's just another kins protected by an army of people.
Maybe they're
I think
taking
we're getting off
shifts
track
with the
here.
storm.
that Kins.
I think we're getting
I don't like the other Kins.
It's a long boat ride, so we've got some time to chat. But
So at this
I mean,
point, you have made it out of. So in Portsmouth, there's a harbor that basically the town itself kind of sits on. And then to the north is the harbor known as Rock Harbor. And then outside of the harbor on the north side, there's a long sandbar that kind of comes together as a spit that leads to the channel and out to open ocean. You also know that the Bovern River kind of empties out, an estuary of the river empties out into that same channel. So it's kind of where everything kind of comes together in this one spit leading out to the ocean. And you've rounded one of the jetties, and you're starting to come towards that spit now. And you hear Cobb call out. He looks over to Velma. He goes, Velma, on my mark, loose the main canvas and haul it good and tight. You lot, find something sturdy and hold fast.
All right.
Velma rushes over. She's quick. You don't even really understand what he said, but she runs over and she grabs one of the ropes and she pulls it free from a cleat as the main canvas sort of drops, and suddenly the vessel immediately lurches forward as it picks up speed from the wind. As you clear the spit into the open ocean, in front of you, you all can't help but see there's a break on the outside of the sandbar. The waves are probably, at least from where you sit, anywhere from 6 to 8 feet tall. Much higher than the boat, let's just say that. What is everybody holding on to at this point? Describe to me where you are on this boat.
14's left arm.
I was thinking 14 also. Are there no... So it's not really a galley ship. I mean, it looks like it's the size of a longboat, but there's not actually like rowing seats or anything.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. Is there any room on any of the masts to hang on, just to like hold on to the mast?
Sure, yeah.
I will hold on to a mast.
I'm gonna hold on to Vin's mast.
I'm holding
Not
on
like
to
that. The mast, yes.
to the closest piece of wood that is near me.
Just everyone hug the mast.
Can we have like a group hug?
Yeah.
Okay, so... Oh, go ahead,
I'm gonna
Thorcum.
sit down. I'm gonna sit down and just like in empty space and have 14 kind of just pressed down on my shoulders, try to stay still.
Right, so 14 is on the starboard side of the ship, and he's kind of been helping kind of like balance out the ship a little bit. So Thorcum, you kind of huddle underneath him. Everybody else holds on either to a mast or the hard points on the rail. And this giant swell, as you finally get up to it, you kind of look back instinctively at the captain, who's got sort of he's very focused at this moment, and he's basically got the ship pointed directly perpendicular to this wave. And just as this giant wave begins to crest, the bow of the ship reaches the trough, and the bow rises up sharply, probably about 45 degrees, and everybody starts to, the whole ship is at a massive angle as it starts to go up the face of this giant wave. It cuts through, but the entire sort of bow lurches again as the bastion just sort of slams down on the backside of the wave. You've cleared the wave, but everybody goes tumbling. At this point, I need everyone to make a check to determine if you are still holding on to whatever you were holding on to before. You have an option here. You can make a strength athletics check to see, like, are you just strong enough to hold on? Or maybe an acrobatics check to see if you have really nice sea legs and are able to just sort of keep your balance through the madness. So your choice, let me know what you roll. Larissa's face is very encouraging here.
Oh, wow.
Not so good.
Yeah.
I got a 4, guys.
I got a 16.
I got a 12.
I got a 12 as well.
26 athletics.
Oh.
26.
Oh, man.
He's holding on with one finger, just like not even paying attention. That's great. Okay, so everybody, the DC was 12. So the people who rolled a 12, you barely managed to stay put. It's very, very difficult, but you just managed to hold on. Thorcum and Jeshi seem to manage okay. Belrissa, as you all are kind of like managing yourselves, you just see Belrissa just go tumbling across the deck. She's actually near the bow, kind of holding on to kind of like this big piece of wood near the bowsprit. And as the ship lurches, she just falls backwards and like does a cannonball and just goes tumbling backwards.
Can I reach for her?
Yeah,
Can
I know.
try to,
I'm
like,
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah.
sorry.
She's tumbling. What do you want to do?
Well, I'm holding on to 14, so I'm imagining like just this chain thing, where I'm like I
Okay.
keep holding on to him, but I also reach.
Make
out.
a dex save.
Oh,
Ooh.
Oh.
15.
Okay. So
Could have been worse.
So Jeshi reacts as quickly as he can and like reaches out and dexterously tries to grab Belrissa and succeeds.
Yay.
And she's sort of literally just falling, and you manage to reach out.
the
and kinda-
hammer.
Okay. Yeah, you describe it. What do you do? How do you catch her?
Well, my arms are pretty short, so I feel like I would just like hammer, reach
Nice.
out.
Okay, so the
Might be
hammer
like,
extends
"Hey."
out and just sort of like cushions Belrissa as she falls. You still tumble and you land prone on the deck of the ship, and the spray of the wave is now. Most of you are very wet. Getting through that wave seems to have been the big challenge there, but you've made it. Belrissa's on the ground, just like coughing up seawater.
I'm gonna lay there for a while.
You also hear as out from under Belrissa's collar crawls Ziggy, who is just covered in water. And cats they just love water. And he is not a happy cat. And what's he doing, Belrissa?
He's being real sad. I don't know. He's shaken off, he's probably trying to climb up the mast to get away from any more water.
Yeah. Okay, so you you make it through, and you keep sailing, and Cobb kind of looks over, and he just sort of gives you this like old man look of approval. No words needed. It's just kind of like he's impressed that only one of you fell down. Is kind of what it seems like, and the sailing continues.
I had 14 roll 23. I forgot to roll for him at first, so
Okay.
he's good.
Cool. All right. What's everybody doing?
Yeah, so there's this guy. I think Thorcum is a captive audience because he's just sitting there. There's this guy in my unit who used to say, he told me once that he swam the Bay of Serpents. And I'm beginning to think he was not telling the truth. But I continue unfazed. But I think we might have to swim. Can you swim?
I don't
Does
have
14
to.
float? Well, maybe
Not-
we could use
not-
14 as like a boat. A motorboat.
Not float, but if Belrissa can give us water breathing, we can manage. I'd rather not go in the water though. Let's try Ken's thing first.
To control the storm.
Oh man, good thing
Oh,
it's
yeah.
washed away.
Can you move that spell, Kins?
So
Or
it
does it
says
stay where you are?
that if I'm outdoors in stormy conditions when I cast the spell, sorry, this is real. This is how Kins talks in real life. The spell gives you control over the existing storm instead of creating a new one. So I don't know. I mean, I would imagine that I could set the starting point.
Maybe you could make it like the weakest thunderstorm of all time. Where it's just, like, one drop of water.
It's more a matter of the size, right? Like if we got to go a quarter of a mile, like what's the size of that spell?
I
Like,
can
'cause you-
go 120 feet. Is the cylinder size?
So if you
Centered around
turn-
you.
Wherever a storm cloud appears within a 60-foot radius, centered on a point that you can see in range.
Okay.
So it could be 120 feet in. I mean, I don't know all of my measurements, but I think a quarter of a mile is a little more than 120 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd have to be able to move the center, which
Could you center it on the boat like Belrissa does with the ring?
Yeah, can it move with you? The center point?
this
This I don't know.
might be a DM question.
This I need to confer with my mind.
Another important question.
My mind.
What if Evilkins is also controlling the storm, and you are also controlling the storm? Like, then what happens?
A battle of the
What if
wills.
Evilkins is like, fire at the ship, and you're like, no, fire at the island at Evilkins? What happens? Magic is crazy.
Yeah, I do want to look around and just see like what Cobb and Velma are thinking about all of the magic talk. Like, as we just went full on breathing underwater, controlling storms, like we're not even hiding it anymore.
He Cobb has been listening actually intently, and Velma. Well, I'll tell you what. Make a perception check if you would like to see. And call out your rolls because we can't see what they are.
9.
9. Okay. Anybody else paying attention?
Nope.
I don't think I would be.
Okay. Yeah, so all you really notice, Vin, is that Cobb seems to be looking in your direction and paying loose attention at least, and Velma is kind of more, she's kind of just been moving around, kind of dealing with, Cobb has been sort of occasionally shouting commands to adjust the sails or make some adjustment to some piece of rigging. You don't understand anything they're saying, so you're not really paying attention to the details, but you do notice Cobb kind of looking in your direction, and he catches your eye, and he kind of gives you kind of a brow furrow, and he looks away.
Well, I agree. I mean, I would love to do something that doesn't involve us jumping into the crazy ocean with, demon fish, but at least being able to breathe underwater would
It would help.
it would help. Yeah.
You feel a gust of wind coming from behind you, and Velma kind of looks back, and remember you left before dawn, and the sun has now started to rise over the horizon, and it's just giving way to this really beautiful kind of golden light, and you kind of get a good look in the light at Velma's face, and she's got a big old smile. She's beaming. She kind of looks back, and she says, "This is good wind." And Cobb looks and kind of gives her a nod, same kind of stern face. And, "Aye, the wind's dead astern. She'll carry us swift as rain now." And he looks back at you, Vin, kind of does a quick look at the lot of you. "Tell me, what is it you think you know about this place we're going?"
We don't. We know the name. We know there's a storm. We know there might be a mine.
It's
A storm
probably
that
a
never-
magic storm.
Yeah, like a storm that never ends carries some hints of otherworldliness, as does a wind that suddenly appears right behind a ship. But, sometimes it's coincidence, I guess.
He smirks when you say that, and he says, "Oh, this is no magical wind, Master Vinadil. I can assure you of that. But where we're going, oh, you'll see." And he kind of looks around and he says, "It's interesting to me that you'd take on such a job knowing nothing about where you're going. I don't know what you're capable of, but you're going to have to be damn strong to get onto that island." And he kind of trails off for a second, and he seems to think. And he says, "They say it used to be home to a bunch of druids, worshippers of the old gods, some sort of place of ritual. Aye."
She's just like, it's even worse when he's right. It's
Oh,
even worse
man.
when he's right.
It is a bunch of Kinses.
And he looks over at Jeshy and he says, "Aye, your friend might have a bit of divination.
I
Seems to know
believe
a bit more than he lets on."
Thank you. Yes. I think we should refer to evilkins as Znick.
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 And he
That
says,
can be the whole army of Kinses.
But
Znick.
say no more. I will decapitate her.
he says,
With your hammer.
he actually,
I got that axe. I'll be
he almost cracks a smile to Jeshy, and he kind of says, "Aye, 'tis only rumors. Nobody living in Portsmouth has ever been there, I can assure you that, and I'm the only one who's ever been close." He looks over at Velma, he says, "Well, and of course my dear Velma over there." "But yes, it is, well, it's going to be interesting." And
These spine fish of yours, Are they like surface fish? I mean, how deep is it around that island? Do you have any idea what the bottom of the sea is like?
He thinks about your question for a second, and he says, "The silver spines nest out near the burnt ledge. They call it that because it's one of the deepest places. That's where they like to go, but they surface to eat, and that's where we'll find them." And you hear Velma sort of call out, interrupting Cobb, which is like, "Oh," and she says, "Captain, speaking of, do you see that?" And Cobb, his brows raise, and he kind of looks over, and for the first time he sits up off the rail in the back, and he kind of seems to hook the rudder to a little piece of rope, and he walks forward, and he's got this like sort of like, he's got a very strange sort of like, I don't know, almost shambling walk as he kind of like, and he sort of has to shove you guys out of the way, but there's an urgency to his walk as he goes up towards the front of the ship to meet Velma, and he kind of looks out over. He seems to squint his eyes. "Aye, she's a big one." And he sits back for a second, strokes his beard. "All right, hands." And he turns back and he's looking at you guys. "You're about to see why this is the bastion and why she sits so squat in the water. That there," and he points out kind of off the starboard bow, and he says, "that there is a silver spine. It spotted us. You can tell by the way it's moving in the water." And you look out. Everybody make a perception check. Or anybody who looks, I should say.
30.
Ooh, 19.
19, 3. What else?
15.
What else we got? 15.
Taking my passive 18.
Okay. Vin, you're muted.
Yeah, 13.
13. Okay, cool. So most of you can see that maybe 100 feet off the starboard bow, sort of circling in almost a figure 8 style pattern, is this long sort of ridged spiny back of some long serpent-like creature that seems to be swimming through the water. It's big. It's probably 15 or 20 feet long. It's hard to tell because it keeps sort of going in and out of the water. But what you do see is the reflecting off the morning sunlight is the silvery sort of very sharp, very long, probably 8 or 10 inches long, these razor sharp spines with these ridged backs that sort of create this very sort of grotesque silhouette against the sun on the horizon as these giant spines of this creature are coming in and out of the water. It's very big and it is very sharp looking, and that's what you see.
Is
All
it
right.
like, is this fish, does it taste good?
And yeah, so Cobb responds to you, and he starts to move more quickly. This is like probably like a 70-year-old guy. Like he is definitely an older gentleman, but he's super ripped, and he doesn't move quickly, but suddenly he does. He starts moving quickly. He's moving around the ship. He keeps kind of shoving you out of the way. He's grabbing pieces of gear. You can see he reaches down into like a wooden crate, starts pulling out a bunch of metallic objects. You can't even tell what they are. But he calls out to you kind of without looking in your direction. And he says, "Aye, they taste good. One of these will feed most of the village for at least a few days. That's why we fish for them."
Have it help. What do you need me to do?
And he kind of looks up and he just kind of smiles in your direction. And you see he pulls out what looks to be like a scale mail type of armor. It's sort of Velma helps him out, and he sort of puts it over his head, and it kind of rests. It's basically like 2 shoulder plates and basically sort of a pauldron that kind of comes down on one arm. But you can see that on one side, on the left side, it comes up over his neck and kind of like up over like half his face. It's a really awkward piece of armor because it doesn't really protect him from kind of like the chest down, but his whole upper body and then up onto his face is like covered in these sort of metallic plate-like pieces of armor. and Velma has like moved around his back and is like tightening these straps. And he calls out to you and he says, "Aye, you can help. We've got two options here." And he kind of looks around and he seems to be trying to follow the fish with his eyes as he's going. He says, "Our options are to try to outrun it or to catch it. I prefer to catch it because that'll make this trip quite a bit better for me and my granddaughter here." And he kind of looks out at it and he says, "And trust me, the last thing we want is to be trying to outrun a ridge back when we start to get close to that storm. So yes, we're going to try to catch it. Is that okay with you all?"
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why do you need the armor? Is the fish not in the sea?
Better question is, why does the boat need the armor? And he runs over to the side, and he calls back to Velma to basically he basically asks her to go to the rudder and start steering. And he basically looks, and you guys at this point are probably within like 40 or 50 feet of the boat, but instead of the fish, I should say. But instead of slowing down, he actually grabs one of the main braces and he just sort of pulls it nice and tight, and the ship speeds up. And it starts to catch up to this, and he reaches over and he hands the rope to he just holds it out. Who wants to grab it?
I'll grab the rope.
Okay, so Jesse, you reach out and grab the rope, and he just kind of looks at it and he goes, "Keep that good and tight. We need to keep our speed up. Trust me." And he moves up, and at this point the ship starts to, you can feel as the wind catches the nice tight sail, and it sort of lurches forward. And as you do, you sort of catch up with this fish, and what happens is it starts to basically swim kind of alongside the boat. And as it starts to move, you see immediately the boat kind of like lurches over as Velma twists the rudder, and the boat turns, and Cobb kind of looks back and he says, good girl. Keep it on the port side. We need to keep it facing the armor." And he kind of looks out and he calls out to somebody. You guys tell me who wants to react to this, but he goes, he reaches down into like another small little crate, and he pulls out what looks to be a long rope with a sort of grappling hook type of device on it. He says, "I'm going to need someone to throw this once I bait it." And he starts just reaching down, and he pulls a bunch of what looks like just old rancid meat or something off, and he starts baiting the hook. Who wants to help him out?
Yeah, I'll throw it.
Okay. Vinidal, you walk up, and he hands you this sort of grappling hook. And he kind of points in the direction, and Velma, this is a kid, right? She's real young, but she is expertly maneuvering this ship as the fish is just sort of moving back and forth, and you can see it's just sort of circling the boat ominously, and it's kind of unclear what it's trying to do, but she is sort of keeping the ship kind of turned, and you notice that as she turns the boat, Jeshi, the sail itself is sort of losing and recatching the wind, and you're trying to sort of manage that a little bit as it's happening. And he calls out, and you see Cobb is kind of looking for the opportune moment, and he points to a spot in the water, and he says, "There, throw it." So make an attack roll to throw this grappling hook in the water.
Attack roll with just like my dex modifier.
Yes, this will be an improvised ranged attack, so you can add your it's basically an attack roll plus dex, but with no proficiency.
No proficiency? Okay.
Right.
Oh.
Hey.
The first one.
Oh, it's a nat one.
Oh.
Oh, this is great. Okay, so it's a natural one. So for the audience who's watching, for chat, so Vinidil just rolled a natural one, which means he rolled a 1 on his d20, which is a critical failure, which means that this does not.
You gotta
go the
check
way
your programming.
he wanted it to go. And
Like, I'm just gonna get a
let's
camera.
just
I'm gonna
say
get a
he's
camera
rolled
and
a
have
lot
real
of these
dice.
so far. This is uncanny. The seal is broken. Yes. So okay. You start to whip this grappling. You're not used to being. First of all, you're not used to being on a boat, and you're certainly not used to being in close quarters with a bunch of other people, right? So you just instinctively start to whip this over your head. It immediately wraps around a piece of the rigging, and the end of the hook catches on a piece of the rope and severs it. and the entire sail that Jeshi's holding onto, one half of it, which is tied on the opposite side, just comes loose, and you just hear as like the sail just sort of luffs up, and Jeshi, you're pulling on it, but it's not doing anything, and all of a sudden the boat just kind of comes to a halt. The bait itself just sort of flings off the hook and sort of lands on the main kind of side of the boat, but a bunch of chum just sort of splashes off of it into the water. A moment later, this massive, lion-sized head of this fish just comes out, splashes out of the water, and literally just smashes its body into the side of this boat, which Velma has still managed to sort of turn just in the nick of time in the right direction. And you see this giant fish with these huge, almost saber-tooth-like fangs just sort of literally bite down on the side of the armored ship, going after this piece of bait, which is literally just this nasty-smelling, kind of rancid, piece of filth. And you see this massive fish just clamped down, and the metal plates that are protecting the ship literally crack from the force of this creature's bite, and it starts to shake. What do you guys want to do?
Throw my hammer at it, Darkforge.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're like 3 feet away from it, so.
Oh, I guess I'll just walk up to it then.
Yeah, I mean, this is not a big space, right? So this thing is like nobody's very far from it.
Well, if the rope is limp, I feel like this is what I would do. Smash.
Okay.
27.
A 27. Okay, so you made an attack roll with your magic hammer to try to just smash the head of this giant spiny death fish. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
10 crushing damage.
10 crushing damage. Okay, cool. So you just instinctively, you see an enemy, you see sharp teeth, out comes the hammer, and you just whip over there and you just smash it kind of right on the side of the head. And the momentum of your strike not only hurts it a lot, but rips it free of the grip it had on the side of the ship. And you see a bunch of those metal plates just go flying out into the water, and the fish just kind of, as it flies back, and it just splashes backwards into the water. And Cobb just kind of rushes over, and this all happened in a matter of seconds, right? And he goes, "Get those lines back! Get them back now!" And he reaches up and he starts grabbing something, and he just hands a rope to you, Belrissa. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna tie it back together.
You're gonna tie the rope back together?
Yeah. Well, did he hand me the one that was severed?
He handed you the one that was severed and gave you no instruction. He's kind of like just yelling.
Yeah, I'm totally tying it back together. It's fine. It'll be great.
Great. So make a survival check.
Okay.
Let's check out your knot tying skills here.
Yeah.
As you
They're gonna be
frantically try to tie this rope back together.
And it's a 4.
A 4. Okay. Yeah. So you tie it all right, and then the moment you let it go, it just comes apart. And Cobb just starts swearing, and he's trying to deal. The boat is just basically at this point just sitting there, and on the opposite side of the ship, without the armor, you suddenly feel as something slams into the hull, and the hull itself cracks, and a small pin leak sort of appears between several of the boards. What are you guys doing?
Come.
I'm gonna start mending the crack in the boards like immediately with my cantrip.
Okay. Thorcom uses his magic ability to start magically mending the cracked floorboard, and within moments, it sort of, the tendrils of the grain of the wood just starts to reform and just sort of close itself back up, and which Cobb notices as well, and kind of gives you a look and a nod of approval as you do that.
We aren't sailors, but we can kill these things. We gotta look over at Belrissa or Kins, be like, Thorcom, can 14 guard that side? And I'm getting my crossbow at this point. Screw this fish catching stuff. Let's just blast these things and kill them. So I'm ready to start shooting the next one I can see with a crossbow.
Okay, so Cobb seems a little bit. He's a little flustered because he's trying, he's out of his element where he's trying to deal with all these people who have thrown him off his game a little bit. So he runs over and he's trying to retie the rope that Belrissa was unable to tie back together and just get the sail functional again. So what do you guys want to do?
I'll help Cobb. I'll mend the rope too.
Okay, cool. So he's literally tying it, and he's whipping up some crazy hitch knot that you've never seen before. Which part of your brain, Thorcum, is like, ooh, knots. Like that's a cool little. You like file that away for later is like something interesting. But you run over and you mend it, and he's got the knot almost mostly tied, but you mend it together and it just sort of magically fuses. And he kind of looks, and for the second time in moments, you've used this ability, and he's super into it. He runs over and he wraps it around a hitch and just sort of ties it tight, and you see that the mainsail itself just starts to tighten, but that opposite rope is still loose. What are you guys doing?
14, grab it.
14 just sort of reaches out, grabs the rope, just sort of tightens it down. The whole sail, the whole canvas just tightens up, and just the boat lurches again as the wind picks up. And you hear from behind at the rudder, you hear yes, as the boat starts to move, and she's able to position it. And Cobb, kind of breathing heavy, he's like, okay, you got any better ideas? You're the warriors. That thing's gonna tear this ship to shreds. And right as he says that, it starts to surface and is moving towards the boat. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna blast him.
Oh, just shoot it.
Belrissa's gonna blast it. All right. Go for it, Belrissa.
All right. Blasty the guy. Hold on, let me pull up. And all right, I'm gonna Eldritch Blast him. First one is 21 to hit
21 hits.
with a 5 damage.
5 damage, okay. So you see your Eldritch Blast, which is a sort of twisting sort of mass of like screaming soul like energy, just smashes into the creature, and the water sort of sprays back from it, and you see it sort of reel, but it doesn't seem to slow down at all.
All right, I'm gonna cast that again.
Okay.
Or I mean, do my second beam.
Mm-hmm.
14 to hit
That hits.
with 10 damage, and I want to push him back with this blast.
Okay, so Belrissa's repelling blast ability can if she hits something with this, it can force it back 10 feet. So you hit this thing, and it literally, like, it has a lot of momentum. If you can picture this just massive fish just swimming full speed at the side of the ship, and it just suddenly loses all of that momentum as it is forced backwards 10 feet, and it sort of recoils in this awkward feeling it's probably never experienced before, and it's sort of just dazed for a second. What's everyone else doing? Kins in particular.
Kins, I don't know what Kins is doing right now. Kins runs over to Belrissa, also wanting to hit this thing. I don't know what she's doing, honestly. She's gonna try to thorn whip it. I don't know if she's close enough. Am I 30 feet away from it?
Yep, it's within range.
Okay. I'm gonna... Kins is panicking right now. 10.
10 to hit?
To hit, yeah.
No, it right as you fire, it sort of dips down into the water, and your thorn whip just smashes the surface of the ocean. Doesn't hit anything. As it does that, it starts to swim in sort of a circular motion, and you hear Cobb yell out, "Everyone down!" What do you guys do?
Get down.
Get down.
Yeah.
Okay,
Follow directions.
everybody make a
Fall
dexterity
to the
saving
ground.
throw to duck down as fast as you can. As you're doing this, the creature starts to whip around in a 360, and you see the back part of it, its tail, for the first time, whips out of the water, and all those big silver spikes that run along the ridge of its back, its tail is sort of filled with them, and it sort of whips its tail in the direction of the boat, and 4 or 5 of them just sort of fling off the tail and come careening towards the ship. What's
I
everybody's
rolled a
dex
10.
save? 10? Okay.
17.
Gotta roll
22.
for-
I rolled an 11. Who is within 10 feet of me?
Everyone, pretty
Ev-
much.
Yeah.
Plus 2.
12.
That'll give me a 14.
19.
And 14, a 13.
Okay. Excellent. So everybody reacts pretty quickly. You guys all duck down. What you do notice, though, is that Velma, she's sort of trapped in like one of those little ropes that's just been kind of, you guys have been flinging ropes everywhere as you're frantically trying to get the sail back tight again. and she's kind of stuck in one, and she's not able to respond quickly enough. Cobb, he rushes over and literally just sort of like huddles in front of her as the spikes just bing, 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 and just smash into the side. Two of them literally stick into the iron plates. They're like, whatever these are made of, they're stronger than iron, as they're just literally just jammed into the side of the boat. Two of them sort of just ricochet off, and one of them smashes into Cobb right in the side of his shoulder and just ricochets off that sort of strange armor that he's wearing, as he's sort of just shielding Velma. And he kind of looks up and he just seems pissed, and he rushes over, and the creature is still sort of like unwinding from this attack. And he reaches down and he grabs the grappling hook, and he starts, he picks it up and he gives it like a little whip. It's kind of like, you've ever out of character, but if you've ever seen like the crab fishermen, how they sort of whip that thing out to grab the crab pots, right? They sort of he gives it this expert sort of throw, and it seems to it wraps around the back tail, which is covered with spikes that are all in these awkward directions. It's like a perfect point for it to grab, and he starts to heave on this rope, and he just looks back at the lot of you like, you better help me. Is this look on his face?
As soon as he does that, I'll have 14 help pull, and then I cast reduce on the fish.
Okay.
It needs to make a con saving throw.
That's amazing. Okay.
Kins, while this is going on between now and like my turn, I want you to, I'm like, pay attention to this fish.
It fails. 16.
It fails. So okay. So you cast reduce on it, which is the opposite of what you cast on Jeshi last week to make him double in size. So what happens to the fish?
It decreases in one size. So if it was large, it is now medium, kind of Jeshi size.
That's great. So it was definitely large. It was about 15 feet long, and it has reduced now to about, call it 8 feet long. It's more like maybe a giant oarfish or something at this point. Still very spiky, but it has reduced in size, and as you begin to haul, it suddenly becomes a heck of a lot easier. Is anyone else helping haul in?
Yeah, I'll help.
Okay, so you all just start heaving on this line, which is the fish is thrashing. If you've ever seen someone haul in like catching a shark, on a shark boat, like, it's just thrashing in the water, and it's so confused now that it has been reduced in size, and it clearly is you've caught it off guard with Thorcum's quick thinking, and you manage to pull it up, and you get the thing basically from the tail side, sort of start to pull up over the side of the boat, and he calls out to Velma to get ready, and she kind of looks over, and she seems to tie the rudder, and she runs over and reaches down on the starboard side. There's like this long sort of compartment. She opens it up, and she pulls out what looks like a trident style weapon. It's almost like a spear with it doesn't look exactly like a trident, but that's the closest thing you think of when you see it. And at the end of this spear, you immediately notice that it's the teeth or the spikes rather of this creature have been fastened into basically a long weapon. And she runs over, and as you guys sort of pull this thing about halfway over the rail, Velma just leans over and just stabs it right in the face with this weapon. And you notice that the armor on the side of this thing, its scales, are probably as hard, if not harder, than the iron on the side of the boat. But this trident, wielded by this 17-year-old girl, easily pierces it just right through the side of the brain. And she rips it out. And the teeth themselves, I keep calling them teeth, the spikes are serrated on one side. So as she rips it out, you see a bunch of sort of blood and gore kind of rip out of the side of this creature's head and just sort of spray and chum in the water. And it stops wriggling and writhing almost immediately, though there's still a little bit of that, just, the nerves of the body are still just sort of reacting, but it appears to be dead as you continue to pull it over. What's everybody doing?
Is this thing gonna grow again, Thorcum? I don't want to
Let
be
me look at the duration.
next to
Yeah,
it.
1 minute.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell everybody. I'm gonna tell everybody to kind of like when Cobb gets it where he wants it to stand back and kind of explain it.
Yeah, Cobb has looked over and been like, "What the heck is?" He's as confused as the fish was, and he wants to know what's going on here. So, what do you explain to him?
I just say get it in the middle of the boat where you need it.
It's about to grow again. It's only small for a time, so.
Okay.
And I want to go find one of the spines that's stuck in the side of the boat. If I can lean over and wrestle one of those out, I want to do that.
Sure. Yeah, make a strength check to sort of pull it out of the iron.
And I asked Jessie to do it for me.
You can, yeah, if you want to.
Actually, that's what I'm going to do. Like, Jessie, can you come get one of these spines out of the side of the boat for me?
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. 16.
16. Okay. You managed to pull one of them out. The other one just sort
I
of...
fake like I'm gonna throw it at Finn.
One of them pulls out easily. You go to pull the other one out, and as you pull it out, it just breaks in half. And basically the second half of it is just lodged into the...
Out into the water.
iron. Yeah.
Hoping no one saw.
But you do have one of them.
Thank you,
So
Jessie.
Cobb, thinking quickly, he basically kind of looks over and he says, "Okay," and he sort of gives you a direction to position it. So there's not a lot of room on the boat. It seems like you kind of get the idea that he hasn't thought this through, because this is a very large fish, and so he kind of says, "Okay, like we're gonna let it basically hang over the side a little bit." So he positions it in this way, and sure enough, 30 seconds or so go by, and you start to see as the creature itself starts to slowly grow back to its enormous size, as one half of it is hanging out of the boat, and the heavy weight combined with the weight of the plates, even with the ballast and 14 on the right side, the whole ship starts to go off kilter a little bit.
I want to talk to Thorkim, like, take a look at this. What is this? I mean, it's stronger than that metal. What is it? Do you think that's workable? Yeah. So, I mean, my question is, like, is this purely organic stuff, or like, is this a workable? Like, could this become fishing? Could this become a source of metal for the villagers, or some kind of better thing than wood?
Like make knives out of it, or
Better
Yeah,
currency.
or like fishing lures or whatever. I mean, they're even just trying to make like hooks and stuff, right? Like,
I take it from Vinny and just put it in my bag of holding. It's like, let's worry about
Right
one
as you
thing
do
at a
that,
time.
Cobb rushes over to the starboard side of the ship, and he leans all the way over, and he kind of calls out, and he's, "I need weight over here," and he leans
14.
way over the ship. 14's already there, and it's not enough. He
Okay.
leans over, and,
I'll go
and
over.
with his left hand, he grabs one of the lines and sort of pulls it tight, and he's trying to just like keep the ship stable. As
Hey.
oh, go ahead.
run over.
I was gonna say, Kins runs over.
Okay. So Cobb continues to shout these orders from the starboard rail, and everybody's kind of moving around and trying to get the boat back to an even keel. And above the murmur of the hard work, you hear a splashing sound. The chummed water surrounding the bastion begins to froth and agitate. You suddenly see small fish-like creatures with bat-like wings piercing the surface in these long sort of gliding arcs. It's an interesting curiosity until Velma screams in pain. She has her knife out in a flash and hacks at this creature whose needle-like jaws are clamped onto her shoulder. Cobb releases the line and is to her instantly, grabbing it behind the gills, and he just twists its body clean off its head and spits and throws it overboard. And he kind of looks over. You can see he's got a frantic look in his eye. The bastion lurches as the bulk of the silver spine, which is hanging over the port side of the ship, suddenly becomes taut as the body is being pulled into the water. It suddenly, it's pulling everything down, and suddenly Sorry, I lost my train of thought here. Ruining the moment. No, I'm trying to picture this in my head. So the fish is basically being pulled into the water over the side of this rail, and you see a massive barnacle-covered claw thrust out of the water and sever the back of the fish off in a clean, decisive snip. The air is full of these bat fish things, and a glance over the side shows a horrid, tentacled visage of this hulking, chitinous crab-like creature as it surfaces and starts to reach out towards the ship with these giant claws. Everybody roll initiative.
Oh my god. What?
I was just
I
relaxing.
can't.
You know, just
I
trying to
can't.
relax.
This
We
is
got
why
this
we
fish.
don't.
This
This is why we don't go on boats, people. This is why we don't.
Is this why we're not
To
supposed to
make a good
swim
chowder.
to the island?
Yeah, apparently DM's thrown a lot of hints. Maybe not swim to the island. I don't know.
I mean, once we fight them all, then it's fine, and then it'll
That's
be clear,
right.
clear
There's no
swimming
more bad things.
to the end.
This is all
All
we-
three of
we're
us
going to-
rolled a 12.
I know.
All right.
Been with the
Wilkins.
13
Look at our
before.
canoe.
Yeah. Before
Sorry, go ahead.
It got pulled off the boat. I don't know how your
Oh, there's two of these guys.
like wild shape thing happens, but I'm gonna be talking to you about turning into one of those things later on. Like,
One of these
Yeah.
things?
oh no, one of those silver spine things.
Spiny
Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
That seemed like a pretty cool thing to be able to turn into.
Hey man, I was just
Yeah.
interested in turning into a goat, but a silver spine, man, that's more useful.
Well,
Oh, Martin.
Jay, I think some of us clicked initiative before it. Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you just want to
most of us did.
You're still on there. I can see you on there.
Oh, on the
Oh.
turn order list?
Yep, all 5 of you are
Oh,
there.
weird. I can't.
Oh, I only see
Yeah,
Martin there.
I just see Martin.
That's all right. You can
Interesting.
see it.
Thorcum, guys, Thorcum.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thorcum.
Wait, who's Martin?
So you don't see yourselves in turn order.
No.
No. Just see
Interesting.
Thorcum.
Okay, I can see. What do I do about that? Let's see. Let me
The
try to.
Thorcum with the nat one.
Let me try to move you out of here, and then back
There we
in.
go.
Oh, yeah,
no, but
we're
it's all of
Oh.
us but
Oh.
Thorcum.
Now we're
so
gone
we're
again.
on that main page and we're not on this page.
So when you switch screens, you lost the.
Okay,
switch-
that's
switch to
weird. It
battle
doesn't
map.
reset on my side. Okay, I'll tell you what.
Are we re-rolling?
No,
Just
yeah, hold
reroll
on.
and then
So
change it.
yeah, just take note of what it is right now, and then I'll
Yeah.
delete everybody, and then re-roll,
Okay.
and you can update it to what it was. So there you go. It's
Okay.
clean.
Oh.
It was better.
No, I want someone to go before me.
Oh, it didn't take mine again. That's weird.
Yeah. It didn't put me in either. Oh, wait.
Oh.
No. I'm not in there.
And you clicked on
It
it?
took that one. It took that one, Thorcum.
Okay.
I see Thorcum in there. I see Vin, Jeshi, Kins. I don't see Belrissa.
I clicked on my person.
Interesting.
and
Let me
then-
roll. Let me do it for you.
Okay.
That is a lot of little
Okay.
fish things.
You're in there now, so you can change. Do you remember what your roll? I think it was
12.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it for you.
Okay.
You're good.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, great. So let's reorder us. Okay. Yeah, so a bunch of these sort of flying fish like creatures are just sort of diving in and out in these long glistening arcs through the water. You see tons of them. You kind of look around, and the first thing to happen is let's see, let's get positions ready. I think that's probably pretty accurate in terms of where everybody was. Would you guys agree with that?
Sure.
Yeah, seems
Yeah.
like.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right, so the first guy to go is this one over here, and he is going to. Let me just look at what this dude can do real fast.
Jay, while you're doing that, on the battle map, the boat's kind of off center on the stream.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, thanks. I can fix that. How did that happen? Oh, it's because I left the page and then came back. Let's see. It's going to flash a couple times while I get this sorted out here. There we go. That looks more or less centered on screen. Okay, so they can... Right, I was just checking how far they can move. Okay, so this one, the first thing this does is it leaps out of the water and is going to basically latch on to the side of Thorcum and try to attack you, Thorcum.
Go for it.
Okay, it is... Its attack roll is a 24. Ooh, not a bad first roll.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
Okay, so it hits you for 6 piercing damage and is attached to you. It basically just attaches to sort of the side of your arm. That is partially armored, but its razor-like teeth seem to just pierce right through the leather in your armor. Let's see. Yeah, so it's now just, it's literally just like on you, just like sucking your blood. It's stuck there. That's going to end its turn. Next up, we have the one right next to it is going to... how smart are these things? Let me look at something. They are...
Guessing super dumb.
I'm guessing that too. Just double checking. Yep, they are very dumb. It's going to attack 14. And it's going to just jump onto 14. It's still going to make an attack roll. And its teeth are not able to pierce the metal sort of side of 14, and nothing happens. That ends its turn. Next up, we have the one here. This one is also going to attack. No, this one's going to attack Kins. It just flies up towards you, Kins, and is going to try to attach to you, and it hits you for 15.
Your armor class, Kins.
It's 15.
15, okay. So that hits.
Yeah.
That's going to be 5 piercing damage on Kins, and it is stuck to you. It's attached to your arm. That brings us to Vinadil.
All right. I'm gonna try to, gosh,
Kill them all.
yeah. Can I assume I can see the one that's attached to Thorcum right now, or do I need to move a little bit to be able to shoot it? I mean, I can move like over here. if
You
need
can
be.
definitely see it, but these are tiny things. Imagine like a little bat has sort of attached to the side
Gotcha.
of Thorcum. So
Do you make eye contact with me as you point your crossbow at me?
Yes, in the most intense way. It's just like,
Okay, so like, can I see the little thing, or is it just almost obscured by Thorcum's body?
you can see it, but you know what? Actually, I'm going to say unless Thorcum were to turn around, I'm going to say you cannot see it. I'm trying, if you can
Okay.
visualize this, right? So this is this tiny
Yeah.
little creature, literally the size of maybe a small bird or a bat, that is latched
Okay.
on to the far side of Thorcum, so you'd have no line of sight to it.
Gotcha. Okay, so do I see either of these big?
Yes, they're both on the
Creature.
surface of the water.
Okay,
Giant claws are snapping.
I'm gonna move in behind 14 here, kind of. I'm trying to be between him and the mast,
Okay, sure.
and I'm gonna hold my crossbow shot until this one gets in melee combat with somebody.
Okay, great.
And then I'm gonna shoot it.
You got it. Cool. So you're gonna hold your action until the thing gets in
Yep.
combat. You got it. Okay, great. Kins, you're up.
Okay, Kins wants to... Well, can I just... You said it's a bird-sized thing? Can't I just, like, pick it off of me? Be like Cobb?
You can try. Sure.
Okay, Kins wants to, like, pull this blood-sucking bird fish off of her. What do I do for that?
Okay, so that's gonna be an improvised attack. So that would be a
Okay.
strength-based roll. So you're gonna basically make an attack roll, add your strength modifier, and no proficiency.
Okay.
There's another thing you could do, just to give you the option, is you have a dagger, and you kind of typically fight
Oh,
with a
yeah,
dagger.
yeah.
So you could try to like cut it off you, and that would give you your bonus because you're.
Okay, so I'll do the the dagger try.
just Kins rip it apart.
Yeah, well, yeah, kids. What are you gonna do when something like leeches on top of you?
Not a bear.
Just give in.
Okay, I don't think I have this on Roll20, so I'm gonna roll this and just call it out. Oh God. Okay, so that was 8 to hit.
No, it's like it's so small that you're just frantically like having trouble trying to get at it, and it's sort of wriggling around and just it's spry. Okay, do you want to move or anything?
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna move to the other side of the boat. I don't know, I'm having, oh, it's because I'm not selected. I'm gonna move over on this side. Not in the water, but you know, like over here.
Yep, cool. So
Wherever
this
that
thing
is.
just basically just comes with you because it's attached to you. Great. Okay, Jeshi, you're up.
Okay, I spin around. I watched Kins run across the boat. Is the one attached to her? Would I be able to swing at it, like top down? Smash it, or is it like fully blood sucking on her?
I mean, it's fully blood sucking on her, and it is also the size of like a golf ball. Like, if you smash your hammer on it, you're probably...
This is my driver, so I'll be fine.
Okay, but you're gonna
I'll
have
go
to
for
have
the-
like surgical precision to hit like that, but you can obviously do it if you want to.
No, I'm good. I'll go for the one that's like floating around 14 because it didn't latch on. So I'll run up here and smash at that one.
Whoops. There we go. Okay,
14.
14 to hit.
Yes.
That does not hit. It is really small. So
Attack
you okay, great.
Sorry. Oh, less. Okay, I miss.
Okay. Yep, both attacks miss. It's these things are hard to hit. They don't seem particularly tough, but they're really small and awkward.
Due respect for Cobb. Now you just plucked one with his hand and ripped it in half.
Right?
Man.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
All done. All right. So that's bring it to the chull that is on the north side of the bastion. So this thing is going to basically swim up to the side of the ship where it sees Jeshi, which is going to trigger Vinadil's attack.
Has 25 to hit
Yeah, that definitely hits.
and 16 damage.
Okay. Let's see. Let me just double check. Perfect. 16 damage. All right. Okay. So as it gets up to the side of the ship, it's really big, and it doesn't exactly climb into the boat, but the boat sits so squat in the water that it's sort of like one claw reaches up, and almost like the whole boat sort of like lurches in that direction. That's how strong this thing is. As the other claw reaches up and attacks Jeshi.
I'm gonna deflecting blow.
Okay,
With 14.
got it. So 14 uses his reaction to deflect the blow, which gives him disadvantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the first attack with the pincer with disadvantage is going to be a 9,
Miss.
which misses, and the second one is going to be
Aha.
a 24.
Ah,
Or wait, does that only count for one of the
yeah,
attacks?
it's just one.
Okay.
This one.
It was actually the same roll for he rolled 24 twice. So okay, so that hits Jeshi for 15 bludgeoning damage, and you are now grappled by this giant claw, Jeshi.
Again.
As I've been here before.
And he goes off the side and down into the... Yeah.
Okay, that's going to
Oh
end
my
its
gosh.
turn. Belrissa.
Yeah. I'm going to blast the one that just hit Jeshi, but first I'm going to cast Hex on him. Bonus action Hex.
Okay.
And first blast.
It is hexed.
Ooh,
crit.
nat 20 to hit.
Oh, crit. Nice. That's better, Belrissa. There
yeah.
you go. Wow.
So double the dice, right? So
Yep.
So that's 16, 20
for-
damage.
For the audience out there, a critical, so opposite to a natural 1, if you roll a natural 20, which is the highest roll, it's a critical attack, and it doubles parts of the damage. So
Do
20
you get a
damage.
hex?
Yeah.
Do you get a hex damage too, or is that the 4?
That's the 4 is the
Okay.
hex damage, yeah.
Awesome job. Cool.
And can I blast him away?
You can.
Is he taking Jeshi with him?
You're not sure.
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Oh no. Go for it.
The creature.
Okay, yeah, we're trying.
Okay. The creature is repelled 10 feet. And Jeshi goes flying overboard.
Oh crap.
Can I, with a reaction, try to grab Jeshi or no?
Yes. Go.
Oh.
What is this, an acrobatics?
This is
move?
going to be a strength. Oh, geez. What is this going to be? I mean, this has to be a strength check because,
I know.
yeah. Just a last ditch effort to
Oh no.
not
Ooh!
not as
Oh!
Natural
At
20,
20!
which is a 19.
Hey.
Reduced to a 19.
it's not a
Right.
save, but I'm not going to take that away from you. So
Well, it's all the same.
yeah, it's the
like
same
it's-
roll anyway.
yeah, it's the same,
Natural
yeah.
20.
Yeah.
Oh
with-
my gosh, that is amazing. Okay.
I get pulled in half.
So, all right, Vinadil, quick thinking. You that grappling hook that you just totally botched a few minutes ago is still laying on the ground at your feet. So as you see this starting to happen, you just reach down and you flip the rope up with your hand, and you quickly just wrap it around the mast and around your waist, and you sort of wrap. It's not even a knot. It's just like you just wrap it a bunch of times and hope for the best. And you reach out and you throw the other side of the grappling hook around Jeshi, and it is the most perfect shot you've ever made in your life. It wraps around his waist and just clinks and just sort of grabs him. And as the creature starts to be repelled by Belrissa's blast, the mast just the whole boat lurches as the weight of the creature starts to pull it back, and it is not able to move. It only moves half the distance, and Jeshi is now hanging halfway over the railing of the ship and is not in the water, and is basically still grappled and sort of in the most awkward position ever. So that was freaking amazing, dude. Nice job.
All right, I'm gonna take my second blast
good.
and hit the same guy.
$18, right?
18 to hit.
18 hits as well.
10 damage. Oh, Vin, you were right. I did not roll my hex damage for that first attack.
Okay.
Hold on, let me roll. Just
Is it a
hex.
roll or just a
Hex
static?
hex is a roll, yes.
So that would double too
Okay.
from the crit before.
A 1. So an extra 2 damage for that first one.
All counts, baby.
Very nice. That's great.
And yeah, that last one was 10.
Okay. 10 damage?
Yeah.
Great. So 10 more on top of that. So Belrissa, man, just double barrel Elder's Blast coming out hot. Very nice. That's great. You gonna move or anything?
Yeah, I'm moving kind of back here. Here.
Okay, perfect. All right, next up is going to be this creature over here who dives out of the water towards Kins and is going to try to latch on to her. Rolls a 19.
Really?
That's 7
Everyone just suck my blood. It's
piercing
fine.
damage as this thing just it sort of hits you in the back of the shoulder, Kins, as you have your sort of back to the port quarter of the ship. 7
Alright,
piercing
you said
damage.
7. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that ends its turn. Next up is this one is going to leap out of the water towards Cobb and is going to try to attack him. And that's a critical. Okay, so it hits Cobb for 11 as he's like still kind of, it's only been mere moments since he's ripped the thing off of his granddaughter Velma and is trying to he's trying to help her bandage the wound as suddenly this thing hits him right in the back of the neck and he just blasted things, and he reaches back and he's and you can tell he's in a lot of pain. That was a critical hit on Cobb. That's going to end its turn. Then we have this one, which is also going to attack Cobb because it's right next to him. leaps out of the water, and that's a 22. That also hits Cobb for an additional 6. So as
What
he's
are
reaching
these
back,
flying fish?
he sort of his arm comes up, and it that. If you remember, that armor he's wearing is really it's designed to fight silver spines, and as he reaches up, it exposes underneath of his arm, and it just attaches almost in his armpit, and just he starts screaming and shouting, and Velma is she's bleeding, and she's trying to help him, and it's a mess up there. That's going to end its turn. Finally, the Chull on the bottom, the south side of the ship. You can tell it was moving towards... actually, I'll tell you what. Let's see. Thorcum, Belrissa, Kins. Make a quick perception check.
Yeah.
23.
I'll take my passive 18.
Okay.
I rolled a 7.
A 7. Okay, great.
Yes.
All right. So, Kins and Thorcum, who happen to be looking in this direction, you notice something happen. The Chull is moving towards Kins, clearly going in for what appears to be, Kins is right on the edge. It's just like this obvious target, and you've all noticed that. Thorcum, you're paying attention because it looks like she's in a tough situation. Meanwhile, Belrissa is over here, and she just smashes this creature above with all these eldritch blasts, and you can hear it sort of squealing into the... It's like its face is like half in the water and half out. It makes this horrible sound. And as that happens, the Chull seems to sense that and notice it, and changes course very deliberately and swims towards the front of the ship, towards Belrissa, and almost in direct response to what she's done. And similar to what Jessie did, it lurches, it sort of like climbs halfway up and like up on one side, and now you've got like the opposing weight of the other one on the opposite side of the ship kind of comes over to the side a little bit. It's gonna do a multi-attack on Belrissa.
Okay.
And the first attack's gonna be a 10.
Miss.
That misses. So she's able to sort of sidestep it. The second pincer reaches up and is gonna be a 16.
Also a miss.
Also a miss. So it just basically reaches up, and you're just small enough where you're able to sort of dip over to the side of Thorcum and dodge both of these attacks as this thing is just sort of half out of the water. And you can see its body. It's like this sort of long, brown, almost crayfish looking creature, but giant, massive in size. And it's got these long, reddish, almost purplish sort of tentacles, which are just sort of wriggling and writhing out of its face. And you can hear them flapping down on the wet deck of the ship as they're all reaching towards you. It's going to end its turn. Lastly, we have this one who is going to jump towards Kins because she's right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 15 to hit on Kins.
Yep.
That's 8 damage on Kins.
Okay.
You get some polar bear action on those fish. Chomp them up.
Bite him.
Finally, closing out the round. Last but never least, Thorcum. What do you want to do?
I'm going to walk over to 14 with this thing attached to me. And the one that missed him, I'm going to cast Shocking Grasp and just fry the little sucker. So that's a 32 to hit
It is. Wow.
and 11 damage.
You just rolled a 32?
Yeah, spell attack, man.
That's a lot of numbers. Yes, that hits.
Oh, wait. I was almost in that 20. Okay. Yeah, so 11 damage.
11 damage. Excellent. And this is the one that's got Jessie, right?
No, it's the one that's the attack 14. The one in Fortnite 14.
Oh, the little thing. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes, so it explodes in just sort of a red mist. It is very dead.
And then I'm going to have 14 basically crush the one that's on me.
Okay.
11 to hit.
That does not hit.
Okay.
14 is a hard time getting it because it's so small.
Then I'll just take it to the center. Because I guess it moves with me. I'm just going to use the rest of my movement to kind of back off the edge.
Okay.
And I'm going to have 14 move to the other side of Jesse.
Excellent. So 14 moves to the opposite side of Jeshi. So this is going to start round 2 of combat in the ocean with the giant chull creatures and the strange fish-like creatures who have jumped out of the water to just suck the blood out of everyone, basically. But before we continue, we're going to take a little break. Give everybody a few minutes to get up, stretch their legs.
Oh yeah.
Get a drink, do your thing. We will be back in about 5 minutes, and we'll continue with the next round of this combat. We'll see you then.
we're all dying to blood-sucking fish, but it's gonna be okay, people.
Yeah, don't
We're
worry
gonna
about
make
it.
Yeah.
You go there, you go there, you go there.
And we're back.
All
Right.
right.
I'm not worried.
Hey, I want to say that Ziggy is totally just jumping after the flying fish, like a cat would
There
chase
you
after
go.
birds, but very unsuccessfully.
Aw.
He's
Roll through
sliding
Ziggy
all over
naturally.
the wet deck. Like
Yes.
that's amazing. Love it.
Yeah, we need a Ziggy update during combat.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it's like Belrissa's pet. So we'll get it. We'll try to get a reminder to get a Ziggy update every time. Yeah, speaking of, you can.
There's Ziggy.
Yeah,
I
hear him
know,
outside.
hear him.
He heard us.
He's mad that he's not in here.
Yeah, because he's gonna attack us.
I'm trying to help.
We'll bring him in at the end.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a menace at the
I
moment.
could kill fish and I could kill birds.
Has
Okay.
that cat like latched onto your kids yet?
No, he's actually really good with the kids. He just
That's
likes to
weird.
climb up me.
That's weird.
Sometimes Jay.
All right, so at the top of the round, we have the little bloodsucker thing that attached to Thorcum in the very beginning. It's still on him. And instead of attack, what this thing does, because it's attached to you currently, is it's going to... Well, it's sucking your blood. So you're going to take some damage from that. I'm going to roll this here. This is the roll. You take 6 damage from blood loss as this thing is just like vigorously just draining you of all of your precious lifeblood, Thorcum. That ends its turn. Next up is the one that's dead. We can remove him. And then the one that's attached to Kins.
Gosh.
Well, same roll. Kins takes 6 damage as this thing continues to drain. Vinadil, you're up.
All right, so Jessie is still grappled,
That's correct.
but okay. So what? How is that? Help me figure. Like, is he still connected to the boat though with this?
Basically,
that
the
I kinda-
creature's in the water, and Jeshi. So when you're imagine he's just grabbed around the waist, so his arms and legs are still free,
Right.
and he's like hunkered over the side rail of the boat, like holding on for dear life as this crab chull creature is trying to pull him underwater.
Well, can I move? Because like with that whole throwing thing, am I connected to that rope also that I used to save him from
No,
going over? Or
no,
can I
you
move?
you wrapped the rope around the mast
Okay.
and then wrapped it around Jeshi.
Okay.
So yeah, you are free to move.
All right. Well, I'm gonna try to then shoot the big guy with my crossbow.
Okay.
Oh, that is a 10 to hit.
Yeah, that is not gonna do it.
And then I'm gonna move over here and attempt to use my bonus action to stab this little one that's on Kins,
Okay.
which is not gonna be a sneak attack, but it's a 15 to hit,
That hits.
and that's
And,
13 piercing damage.
Your knife just literally just I mean, your blade is bigger than its body. You just eviscerate this thing expertly.
All right, and that's my turn.
All right, Kins, you're up.
Okay, so Kins is. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna do, and then I'm gonna, of course, like I always do, ask you follow-up questions. So, Kins would like to cast Gust of Wind, which I know we're on a boat and everything, but basically, a line of strong wind comes from me, because the logic in Kins's brain is she's trying to get this stuff off of her. It is a 60 feet length thing, gust of wind. So like this arrow right here is the direction that I'm looking at because I also want to try to hit this big thing. And 10 feet wide.
And what does it do? What is the result of
It's
it?
a strength saving throw for every creature that's in that line.
Okay.
And then on so it must succeed or be pushed 15 feet away.
Got it.
And any creature in the line spent, so it's two feet per one of movement while it's like in that wind line.
Oh, so it persists,
Cautionary.
so it kind of stays there?
Yeah.
You will hit Vinadil and Belrissa with that if it's a 10 feet line.
Well, I mean,
Angle it.
Well, if the 10 is like this,
yeah, she'd have to cast it in front of herself, or else she'd be hitting herself.
It
too,
emanates from herself. Yeah.
Oh, emanates.
but it's a
okay.
line. It's a line 10 feet wide, 60 long.
Yeah.
So think of it as like a rectangle for myself.
Yeah. Okay, but you don't
It's
hit
like-
you. Okay.
No.
Yeah, you could position it from yourself to
Yeah.
not hit Vin. I think that's.
And
Yeah.
you can like
Okay.
turn so your the little bat things are.
All right. So your intention is to
Gremlin
hit
fish birds.
just the chull, or what are you trying to hit with your line?
Oh, that's what y'all are saying. You're saying that it doesn't hit the things on me.
Because they're behind you, right?
Aren't they latched onto me?
Yeah, if you turn, then they move with you. They turn with you.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose you could like turn and like shoot it backwards.
Okay,
You know,
Kids
This
is
is
gonna.
literally, gust of wind literally comes out of your pores. This is what I'm.
Yeah, I am
experiencing.
I am
This is the grossest
gathering.
spell. Druids are crazy. You're just like.
That's what I want to do. Strength saving throw, 15.
Okay.
I'm trying to get these things off of me, so
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to push them
Sure,
off,
sure.
and
Okay.
I want to hit this like little crabby thing.
I totally get it. Let's see how this goes. All right. So, what is that line?
Sorry, I'm playing around with Gust of
Get
Wind.
that thing out of here. All right. Group save. Let's see. Group check. This is a strength save, right?
Strength, yeah,
Okay. What's the DC?
a 15.
Okay, so the one that's behind you. All right, hold on. We're gonna do a funky thing here. We're gonna pretend that you sort of rotate in place. So that's what happens, right? Okay,
Uh-huh.
so the one that's directly in between you and the chull is just latched on really, really tight and makes the save. The one that's on the water side rolled a -2, and that thing just goes whee, and just like flies off of you. How far does it go? 15 feet, you said?
15 feet away, yeah.
And the chull rolled a 7 and is also going to...
Yay.
does it...
Yeah.
Can you read me the text of the spell real quick?
Yeah.
Or what's
So,
it called? Gust of Wind?
Gust of Wind. Each creature that starts its turn in the line must succeed on a strength saving throw or be pushed 15 feet away from you in a direction following the line. So if
Okay.
you imagine like that line
Cool,
just
so
going
there's
15
no-
that direction.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah,
I was
it's just pushing.
checking if there was like a size requirement, but it's basically just the strength save. So, no, yeah, I mean, it failed. So it gets pushed away.
But the key there is it's on its turn, not yours.
Oh.
Let's see. Why did the map move again?
I mean, they're still going to get pushed away, but it's going to be delayed until their turn.
Oh, interesting. Good catch. So each creature that starts its turn. Oh,
my God,
yes. You're absolutely right. Okay, so it doesn't move.
But it
sorry
will.
about
But
the
it's
map
also
flashing.
in that space, so if it does try to move, it's 2 feet for everyone.
Got it. Okay, cool. So we'll hold those saves until their turn starts.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Sweet.
And we can reuse the same rolls. Very cool. Okay, are you going to do anything else?
No, because I have to leave this up for now.
Okay. Jessie.
Because it's concentration. I have to wait until its turn.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it will stay up if you transform or whatever.
If I transform.
Yep.
But if you
'Cause
move,
you're-
then the Gust of
you're
Wind moves too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Moves with you.
I'm talking about it. Yeah, so if I move, the Gust of Wind
Okay.
moves with me. I'm talking about my wild shape.
Oh, your wild shape. Got it.
Since I'm casting it now, does it not
Your-
stay up?
Your wild shape would break concentration, as far as I'm aware.
I think a circle of the moon it does not.
Does not. Okay, cool. And
Yeah.
somebody in
But I
chat
can double check on that for sure.
correct me if I'm wrong on that. So that's a specific thing for Circle of the Moon druids. basically she can turn, for chat's sake, she can turn into animals, which is super cool. But she's also concentrating on this like really complicated spell. So can she still do that while transforming into an animal? And it sounds like maybe she can, but let's double check that.
Looks like it.
Great.
It's not a concentration.
Oh, it's not even
No,
concentration.
it doesn't break your concentration.
If I
The spell
transform
you've
into
already
it.
cast. Yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay,
Kins is polar bearing up.
Okay. Oh, it is concentration, by the way. Gust of Wind.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. But you maintain concentration because you're just an awesome druid,
Goodness.
and no big deal. So you turn into a polar
You keep
bear.
your mental.
Whoops.
Yeah,
there
yeah,
we
yeah.
go.
Physically bears, mentally Kins.
Hey.
Okay, so you get really big, and a lot just happened on Kins's turn. That was a lot.
did.
Okay. Meanwhile, Cobb and Velma are just like, what is happening? As this giant polar bear appears on the deck of the ship and further kind of kicks the boat off kilter. The whole bolt, I keep saying bolt, bort. Talk. Words are hard. Okay, the whole boat is like at like a 15-degree angle right now as it's leaning over on that one side.
Swedish show.
Okay. Finally, it is Jeshi's turn. Now, Jeshi, you are grappled, which means you have disadvantages on attacks and you can't move. You can try to break free of that grapple, or you can just do your thing.
Would like to try to break free, yes.
Okay, so that's going to be, you can either make a strength check, contested against creature strength, or you can try to like do like a dexterity type of thing and wriggle your way out.
No, I'm gonna anti-pincer.
Okay.
Here I go, strength. And it's just a check,
Yep.
not a save. Nah, for crying out loud.
What'd you roll?
7 total.
So Jeshi rolled a 7, and the Chol rolled a 16. So that's a contest. It's basically who's stronger in this moment, and the Chol maintains its grip on you, and that is your action. Do you have a bonus action to use?
Yeah, I'm gonna cast Sanctuary on myself.
Okay.
That's it.
You are sanctuaried. Let's give you a little. Let's see. How about that one? There you go. Okay.
Wavy lines.
Next up, it is that Chol's turn. Okay, so because you are grappled by this creature, it's going to use its its multi-attack allows it to make 2 pincer attacks, and if it already has something grappled, it can use its tentacles. So the first thing it's going to do is use its other pincer to try to grapple, or to try to grab 14. So that's going to be a single pincer attack.
Reaction.
Okay.
Block.
Reaction block, which does
Disadvantage.
disadvantage. All right, that's a 9. So you manage to, with your free hand, deflect that pincer out of the way. It sort of looks over and just instinctively reacts to it as its tentacles just sort of reach
I
out.
stick my tongue out at it.
Now,
Is this an attack?
this is. I was just checking that because I knew we were going to do that here.
This is the Jeshi 14 Wall of Doom.
It's not an attack, so this is a save. So you need to make a con save.
Me.
Yes,
Yep.
as these
Roll well, buddy.
tentacles.
Yeah, this is a plus.
Just start-
2
they
on
just
top
start-
of this.
It's gross.
11.
11. Okay. So
I will use my reaction to Flash of Genius, that roll, making it a 16.
Genius. So tell us what that does, Thorcom.
That's it. I can add my int modifier to any ability or saving throw.
I'll tell you what this does. This makes Jeshi just feel amazing. I have this moment, and in my mind's eye, I see evil Kins.
Snick.
And all is clear.
Okay, so that's enough. That makes the save. So
Yeah,
these
I've got
tentacles just reach out and they're like grabbing your beard and like tugging at you, and they're just like sliming across your face, and you can feel that the stuff that's, you know, the saliva or whatever it is, the slime that's just sort of, it's like stinging your skin, and you can feel that it's just eating into your skin, but you're able to fight it off, and it has no effect thanks to Thorcom's quick thinking. which is becoming a common theme with Jeshi here. Fellow dwarf coming to your aid. Very nice. So that's going to end its turn. No, it sure isn't. It's not going to end its turn.
Oh.
It is going to try to pull
Jeshi's
you.
still tied. Yeah.
It's going to try to move back and just pull you away from the boat. But you're tied to the ship. So I'm going to have it make a strength check here to see what happens when it tries to pull you away. It rolled a non-natural 20 on the check. So as it pulls away, it lurches backwards and the rope snaps. And the whole boat just sort of rocks massively for a second as Jeshi is ripped from the rail and this creature pulls back into the water.
So
and is... Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't used my reaction on 14.
Okay.
Can he grab the rope?
We're stacking so many reactions here. He can. Yeah, okay. So his reaction is to reach out and try to grab the rope. I guess that would be... Yeah, okay.
19.
He grabs the rope. And... Okay, so... All right, so if you can picture this, right? So the creature rips Jeshi backwards, just rips your hands right off the side of the deck, which you're just like desperately clinging onto. The rope, which was sort of had some slack in it, becomes taut and just immediately snaps, and it's sort of like you almost feel like one of your ribs sort of crack a little bit as just sort of the force of the rope is just massive, but the rope does give, and you go flying back, and then suddenly you feel it one more time as 14 just reaches out, grabs the rope, and pulls it back yet again. So now you're like in the middle of a tug. You're like a tug of war between this massive
I would be
crab
like 3
creature
inches taller when this is
with,
over.
with 14 pulling on the other side of you. It's a sight to be seen for sure. Okay, that's gonna end its turn. Belrissa, you're up.
All right. I can see this guy that's still attached to Jeshi, right?
You sure can. Yeah,
Okay.
it's still on the surface.
I blasty him.
I blasted you.
You got to kill this thing.
Yeah. All right. First blast is 15 to hit.
Double checking. No, that does not hit.
What? All right.
Such a good damage roll, too.
I know it was a really good damage roll. 19 to hit.
That hits. Yep.
All right, so that one's 10 damage.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my sorcery points
That's right, sorcerer. Come on.
to cast those 2 again.
Okay.
Blast this thing. Oh, gosh. Okay. The fake dice hit each other and changed the roll.
I call.
Like,
Where's the ref?
Really?
that's just not right. Like it's like that was just clearly like a 12, and your fake dice hit it and changed it. Come on.
That's ridiculous.
Oh.
So that was a 9 to hit,
realism.
so that's not hitting. But the next one is 18 to hit.
That hits.
With a whole 8 damage.
Okay. Hey.
Ay.
Yeah, right on the claw. This is all claw damage.
Yeah.
You see a hairline fracture down the side of the claw that's wrapped around Jeshi's waist. All right, you gonna move?
No, I'm staying right there.
Okay. Now there's still a sturge attached to Kins in polar bear form, just in a weirdly different way. So that's gonna be that roll right there. 5 damage on Kins as it just starts drinking polar bear blood. Next one is the one that's on Cobb.
Wait, did he get a turn? Did Cobb get a turn?
No, he didn't. Thank you
Or
for
Velma?
reminding.
No.
So yeah, Velma's not really a combatant here,
Okay.
but Cobb is, and I totally forgot to give him a turn. So
Cobb.
let's throw him in initiative. I'm glad you said that. It's like, wait a second.
He's gotta tear those things.
Wait,
rip them.
yeah.
Like this dude's like, he
No,
just
kill the
grabs
big
him
thing.
and rips him in half.
No, save me.
Um,
Gob, I'll heal
Okay.
you later.
so I'm gonna just like interject a turn for him real quick here. He is going to use his action to try to to do the same thing he did before, but on himself, to rip one of these things off. And why doesn't he have...
Do it. God.
We're all just chanting.
Yeah, I'm like, God.
Don't die.
Well, he just
Don't die.
jumped off the boat.
Yeah, sorry.
Strategy.
My
Now I feel more
website is lagging like crazy, and it's not opening the thing.
He's gonna save Jesse.
All right, I'm just gonna do
Hard
whatever
dice roll?
because it's not none of his stuff is showing up. Okay, his attack misses. He does have a multi-attack, so he's gonna try one more time. Ooh, that hits. Cool. So he grabs one of them
Hey.
and just rips it in two. So we'll say that was this one right here, and that will be his turn from last round that he didn't get. So then we're gonna jump back to that thing's turn. That thing's dead. That thing's gone. And the other one that's attached to him though is gonna do its blood sucking damage, which is gonna hit Cobb for another 4, and he falls down to one knee as he is sort of he's lost a lot of blood. Let's just say that. That's gonna end its turn. At the bottom of the ship, this thing just seems dead set on Belrissa as it.
But it gets blown away, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
this was the one that
This is the
goes
one. that
Yeah.
The gust of wind.
15
It
feet.
just and it reaches out, and it's like the pincer comes with like a centimeter from your face, and then suddenly, and not only does the chull get blown 15 feet away, but the whole boat, the sail suddenly tightens up as the whole boat moves as you guys all sail. Basically, you're like dragging Jeshi behind the boat.
Oh, no.
As for, and they kind of like shift in position here. As yeah, Jeshi's in rough shape. Actually, it would be more like I don't know, like probably like there, as Jeshi's just being like stretched between.
Is the big harpoon still around my waist too?
The big harpoon.
No, it was the
like-
grappling hook.
The hook.
Yeah.
It's still around.
That's
he's
the one.
holding on to.
That's what 14's
Yeah.
holding on to. Yes. Yeah. Okay. It gets blown back. It's then going to swim back to the bow of the ship, and it has a 10-foot attack range. So it's going to sort of climb up, and it's still going to attack you.
Okay.
Wait. Moving through the wind, the direction that
it's
pushing is
2
rough
feet
terrain.
per one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
just
it's
rough
difficult terrain. It has. Well, let's see. It was here. It said 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So it basically has, even with the difficult, it can move enough to get back into range, but just barely.
Good try,
Um,
kids.
We
Okay.
tried.
Yep. It's going to make one pincer attack on Belrissa. Hits you for 24. That's going to be 13 damage,
Rip.
and you are grappled by
What?
the arm of this creature. As this,
From that far?
it has a 10-foot. This thing is massive. It has a 10-foot range.
How many damage was that?
It's 13 damage, and then the other one comes up out of the water. No, sorry, it doesn't. It's not going to use its second one because it got you, so it's going to use its tentacles. So it basically drags you in, and the tentacles on its face are just like, and it just starts like sliming all over you.
Gross.
And you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
All right. 22.
Ooh, nice.
That's a good one.
You can feel as this stuff just sort of just slimes all over you, your white tattoo, your barrier tattoo flares up around you, and you can see it start to glow, and you can see the creature respond to it almost like it's drawn to to the magic that is emanating from Belrissa, and it's sort of gets frantic for a second, but ultimately you're able to repel whatever this poison is that it's trying to get you with. That's going to end its turn. Next up, we have the other one that's attached to Kins, and that's
this is the one that's pushed. Though.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Absolutely right. 1, 2, 3. That thing gets pushed way away. Okay, cool. Well, it's blown off of Kins, and with the difficult terrain of the Gust of Wind, can it make it to?
No.
It basically leaps out of the water and makes it to like right here, and is just like can't get all the way to you as a result of the just giant persistent gust of wind that's going through. Kins, can you please make a concentration check that I forgot to ask you to do earlier from when this thing sucked your blood?
Oh.
It's a save, so a con saving throw, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. That is
Yeah.
20.
Yay!
You're more than fine. Anytime you take damage, we have to remember to make that check.
Yeah.
Okay, Thorcom, close us out. What do you got for us?
I'm gonna move this way, and I'm gonna try to kill this thing on Jeshi. 19 to hit,
19 hits.
15 damage.
15 damage, okay?
Big damage roll.
23 to hit, 6 damage.
Okay. It is definitely starting to show some wear and tear. You can see there's a giant crack in its chitinous shell right above its head, and it's just bleeding this just sort of purplish, like, blood or who knows what.
14 is gonna miss the guy on me, so that's too bad.
Is there still a guy on you?
Yeah, there's still a guy on
because
me.
he
Can you move him with
moved.
me?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. Right.
And that's my turn.
Okay.
So what that little guy doesn't know, though, is Thorkham's blood is poisonous.
Uh-huh.
So this is all just killing him slowly.
It doesn't seem to mind, though, as it drinks 6 more hit points worth of Thorkham's blood
Sweet,
on its
sweet
turn.
poison.
I got enough.
I got HP to spare. That thing's dead. Okay, Vin, you're up.
All right, well, gonna try a similar thing. Then I'm gonna try to shoot the one that's trying to hold Jeshi away still with the crossbow.
Kill it.
Oh, seriously?
Oh.
Okay, so that's an 11 to hit.
No, it does not hit.
Um,
You happen to hit a particularly hard piece of the armor, and your crossbow bolt ricochets off.
and then I'm gonna try to stab. Use my bonus action to stab the other one that's on Kins.
Okay.
It's a 24 to hit,
Yeah.
and that'll be 11 damage.
Yep. The entire sort of side flank of Kins in her polar bear form is just sort of painted red with the misty blood as this thing explodes, as Vinadil just eviscerates it with his dagger. It's like a war paint. You gonna move it all, Vin?
I don't think so. No, I'm
Okay.
good where I am.
Kins, you're up.
Can I retcon something real quick? Since
Maybe.
the troll moved away, can 14 try to drag him back?
As his turn?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would
Okay.
say so.
Is that a strength check?
That would be, yeah, athletics.
Athletics? Oh, 14's good at that. Come on, man. 17?
Okay. Yeah, I would say that he pulls him back, let's say, to right here.
Okay. I'll put...
I dig that. Cool. And then he moves back. Very cool. Kins, you're up.
All right, Kins is sees or hears possibly Belrissa being, because I'm facing that way anyway. Belrissa being taken away or grappled or grabbed. So she's gonna rush over as a charging bloody polar bear and multi-attack this big claw thing.
Okay.
All right, first bite. That is 18 to hit
That hits.
with 13 damage.
Excellent.
Second is the claw. 25 to hit.
Yes.
I know. I was like, wait. Now I'm watching the dice hit each
Because you
other.
saw the 8, but then the 18.
Yeah. Okay, and 15 slashing damage.
Nice.
Ooh, that's a claw.
Nasty. That was really nice. That you just raked
Got it on the
the
chin.
heck out of that thing. Just it was definitely not expecting that. You could see it sort of reel back from these attacks, and Belrus is just like wee, being like held up in midair by this thing as it's like kind of like half hung onto the side of the boat, and it's like trying to like eat its meal while this giant bear is just like slashing it all to shreds. Very nice. That was great.
All right, I'm good.
Jeshi, you're up.
Okay, this thing is grappling me. I just want to double check. My attack has disadvantage?
Yes. I'll double
does?
check.
I thought that was unrestrained.
Or can you
But yeah,
just
we can
not
check it.
move? Yeah, I'll double check it just to be sure. Conditioned grapple. Your speed is 0. Where'd it go? Yeah, so you cannot move. No, you're right. There's no disadvantage on your attack. You basically just can't move.
Okay, I swing.
Okay.
16.
16 hits.
6 crushing damage.
Okay.
And I smite it.
Paladin!
Second level smite. 10 more radiant damage.
Okay.
Is it a fiend?
It's not a fiend,
Just checking.
but it is dead.
Yay!
As Jeshi just finally catches his breath. It has been the most insane, 3 minutes. And he just finally, he's just been, ripped back and forth. And you finally you manage, after all this, to just get a hand on your hammer. And you just spin around and you sort of, whack one of the pincers out of the way, and you just come down and you crack this thing right in the middle of the head, right in that same spot where Thorkum's musket cracked its shell, and you just come down hard, and you can see it sort of cave in, but it's still sort of moving. The tentacles are still writhing around, and all of a sudden, like a thunderous, just sound, just as your divine smite just thunders into its brain, and it just falls dead and starts to sink down. You are released from its grip as you fall into the water and are basically being held onto the side of the ship, which is currently careening forward from the gust of wind that Kin still has going, and 14 is sort of hanging onto you, like you're just sort of being almost keel hauled as you're just being dragged along the side of the ship here, but you are free. Well done.
Can I attempt to get into range to the one that's attacking Cobb, that's under it?
You can. You're gonna have to get back on the boat, though. You're in the water.
Okay. Yeah, so I have a bonus action and I have my movement. Can I try to use my movement to start climbing?
I would say you could
What's
use
that?
all your movement to climb onto the side of the ship, yeah. Particularly because 14 is still holding you on the rope.
Okay, so I'll take the rope. Yeah, I'll kind of.
Yep.
All right, sounds good to me.
Cool. Awesome. So you're probably right there. Where you,
And I will bonus action. Just double check about range here.
Your sanctuary is gone, by the way.
Yeah.
Belrissa, you're on deck.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sanctuary Cobb.
Okay. Bonus action sanctuary on
That's it.
Cobb. Yours is gone.
You have another attack, Josh.
I used my movement though.
Do you
I
lose?
can't get into range with anyone.
Oh, you used all your movement to get on the boat?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, Belris is up.
Okay. Can I Misty Step out of my grapple?
Wait, I swing at Velma. I'm just.
She catches the hammer with one hand and just cracks it like hella. Yes, you can Misty Step out of a grapple.
That's
Absolutely.
what I'm doing. I don't want to be taken into the
That's
sea.
sweet. I should learn that. I should definitely learn that.
I'm going over here.
Why didn't you do that when the big kelp monster grabbed you, Cheshire?
Oh my
Just-
god.
Just didn't think of it, you know.
Yeah. Well,
So a bonus action Misty Step, and then I will turn around and blast him.
Okay.
And all right, first one is 13 to hit.
That does not hit.
These are not good rolls tonight. Next one is a 14 to hit.
No.
No.
Sorry, that does not hit either. Both of your attacks, they just sort of smack into the side of it, and its shell is just too hard.
Okay, I'm gonna use my movement and get way the heck away from him. Go away over here.
Okay.
And since I'm looking at the stream, Kins, can you put your bear health in the blue bar?
Yeah. Sure. Like that?
Yeah, let me look at it.
That didn't update.
Okay. Meanwhile, oh, that one's gone. Excellent. All right, it's Cobb's turn. He's going to. Maybe I can get this to work now. Nope. I don't understand why
He
it's
is
not working.
sanctuaried. Hey.
Oh, he's sanctuaried. He doesn't know what that means, unfortunately, and is going to attack this thing.
Roger. That was predictable. Whoops.
And he rolls an 18, and he easily just sort of reaches. Now that the other one's gone, he reaches on the back, and it's kind of just below the armor line, and he's able to sort of reach up and just grab it and just rip it off of the back of his shoulder blade, and he literally just rips it in half and throws it overboard. So that one is dead. He then is going to. He sort of runs over here and grabs the other side of the rope of the main sail and just starts to reset the rigging, and he calls out to Velma to do the same on the opposite side he's trying to like right the ship and get things back in order so that we can get moving again. So they get to work on that as you guys are keeping going on these other guys. That's gonna end his turn. Next up, that one's gone.
So-
Okay. Yep. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, so Kins, is the wind still there? And if it is, like, is it a new save every time they start their turn in it, or is they only have to do that once?
It should be every time,
Every
Yeah.
time? Okay.
as long as you
Mhm.
maintain it. Yeah. Which would
Very
mean
cool.
that he has to make a strength save, which he fails again, and is just blown backwards off the ship, 15 feet, and then he's going to use all his movement just to get back. You can tell. Kins, make a quick perception check.
Yeah. Oops. I can't see it.
25. It's a 25.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's
25.
a great roll. So you're like hyper tuned into this thing because you're just ultra focused, and you notice that it gives no fucks about you at all. It does not care. It is dead set on Belrissa and doesn't care about you even a little bit. It's going to use its action to dash out of the range of your gust, and let's see, that's difficult. It should make it to about here, and that's going to be its turn. Lastly, we have this one, who is also going to make a strength save. -2.
Oh my
He
goodness.
just gets blown way back and is going to try to fly towards you, but only makes it to here. This thing it's just like this little bird, just like, it's a fish with wings. that is just battling the wind and having no luck.
It's a bird fish.
That's on his turn. All right, Thorcum, you're up.
I'm tired of these fish. I'm gonna move to here. Well, actually, no.
Tired of
move
these
back.
fish.
Tired of these fish. How's that? The
Thorcum's just tired of everything. Doesn't matter what's happening, he's tired
I'm
of it.
tired of these things.
I'm old.
Tired of these
14 to hit.
fish on this boat.
What are you shooting?
Yeah, what do you... Well, it doesn't hit either of them.
Okay.
14 misses, yeah.
Just a little 24.
On the fish thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the one on me. The one that's out in front.
As your magical musket ball hits it just as it's like fluttering against the wind, and just a spray of red mist is just blown off into the water.
Then
as this
14
thing dies.
Takes his fist. 17 to hit,
That hits.
and he just crushes the one that's on me.
Yep, that thing. It's just smush. It's just a smushed little, gross little thing of fish guts. It's dead. So dead. One enemy remains.
Does he count as engaged with Cobb?
No, because he's down below.
Just kind of running. Okay.
Yeah, he's not engaged with Cobb.
All right. I'm going to move over here then, and I'm gonna hold my action again for if it gets engaged with somebody.
All right, you got it. Kins, you're up.
Okay. If Kins wants to move back over since the claw thing ran away from her. Can I reach it from here, or is it too
Yep.
far low?
No,
Okay.
you can because you got a pretty big range as a bear.
Okay, sweet. Go ahead.
Your gust is still going when you turn around.
It doesn't change directions unless
No,
you
only
change it.
yeah.
Okay.
The
Oh,
bonus
okay.
action that I use would
Okay,
change the
good.
direction of it, so it's still in that line. Okay. Multi-attack again. This is 21 to hit
Hits.
with 11
Okay.
damage.
Very nice.
Claw. Oof.
Nope, no one misses.
9.
Starting to unload on this thing though. Nice. All right, Jessie, you're up.
Well,
Charge,
would that
cannonball.
target my my shot?
Oh yeah,
then?
actually that would trigger
Oh,
your
no.
shot in.
Sorry.
So now you get,
That's
you get
all
to
good.
That's
attack.
good. This might change what I do.
Yes.
22 to hit,
That hits.
and that's 20 damage.
20
Nice.
damage. Awesome. All right, starting to show some wear and tear. Jessie.
Still alive. Excellent. Charge. Cannonball. Hammer. Overhead. Boom.
You gonna do a flip while you're doing it?
I will not. I will not, because I don't want to suffer that dex. effect. Ah, Jesus.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's
Please don't hit me.
doesn't
No,
work out the way you hoped. Not quite.
Attack again. But
Yep.
oh.
Ah. Good try. Good try. Okay, Belrissa, you're up.
All right. I'm going to bonus action move my hex to this new guy,
Got it.
and then I'll blast him. That is not a good roll. That was a 9 to hit.
Nope.
Nope. And a 20 to
Ooh,
hit.
Yeah, that definitely hits.
So that's 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay, excellent.
And I see him coming for me, and I don't want him to. I'm gonna move up next to Vin.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, save me. Don't let him get me.
All right, it's Cobb's turn. Who he is going to stop what he's doing and reach over. Now that the thing is like kind of engaged with you, it's he's gonna make his first attack. That's a 22 to hit, and that's gonna be. Oh, I can't open this dude's thing. I'll have to fix that later. That will be
Rips it apart.
5 damage. Not huge, but something. And the second attack misses. So he does 5 damage on it. Not massive, but chipping
More
away.
than me.
That's going to end his turn. Okay, it's now the thing's turn. And it's going to... I'm going to say it's going to keep on going. It's going to provoke 3 opportunity attacks as it desperately tries to reach Belrissa for some reason. So all 3 of
Kins,
you
you
can
wanna do the
opportunity
honors?
attack it.
You want to go
What,
first?
what do I roll? Just my regular bite claw?
One or the other. You can choose one.
You
I'm
can't
gonna-
multi-attack.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go claw. That is 23 to hit.
Oh, okay. I saw the natural one, but
I know. So ignore the other one. 16 damage.
Kins, as this thing starts to swim away, just frantically trying to reach Belrissa for some unknown reason, you just take that opportunity and your claws come out. And what happens?
I'm gonna take, as it's moving, I'm gonna take the claw and try to swing at it as hard as I can. Does it have a head? I want it to be decapitated. Decapitate the whole thing so it comes off of its body, dead.
You're able to, your claw, it's got this sort of interlinked sort of chitinous shell that goes along its back, like almost like a lobster. And you manage to just dig your claws up under from the back, and you just kind of rip, and you pull the entire sort of front part of its shell off, and its brain just sort of rips off of the rest of its head as this thing just, if you could imagine decapitating a lobster, that's basically what you've just done. And it is very dead, and the ship continues to drift away as its sort of dead body just sort of floats on the water.
I yell over to Cobb, are those good to eat?
Velma.
Big lobster?
And he just kind of laughs, like he's just like trying to force a laugh,
Can I
but
heal
is
him?
very tired.
Yeah, Kins also wants to untransform and try to help Cobb specifically.
He's like standing right next to me.
Well, both of us.
Slap him on the back.
So this has nothing to do with like what's going on right now, but did you Tamatoa the last chill for Moana? He's like mesmerized by the colors. Shiny!
He just starts singing. to Belrissa. I feel like that was a missed opportunity.
Or it hates Belrissa because Belrissa killed its face.
He just ripped Jermaine's head off there.
Yeah.
Okay, as Cobb kind of catches his breath, he looks over at Belrissa, who's just kind of talking to him. He goes, "They can sense it, The Chulls, they sense your magic." And he looks at the rest. He looks at Kins. He looks over at Jeshi. He looks at Thorcum. "My old man used to tell me about him. Used to be a thing back in the days before the fall. They used to use the spells to lure him in, and then it would take a whole crew of men just to bring one down. Could harvest the chitin for tools and weapons. Meat would feed a family for weeks. As if these waters weren't bad enough. Chulls. Though I have to say, you handle yourselves well, and I appreciate you looking out for my girl. All right.
Well, are you
Are the
feeling
bodies
alright?
are the bodies too far gone?
Yeah, can we toss
Can
a
we-
net over him?
You could try to grab them if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
I
think.
love crab.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely want
let's
to try to
get
get
at
him.
least one. Let's try to get at least one of them.
And I'm gonna cast Mage Hand to try and guide the net. Help make sure it gets over him.
Okay, for the sake of brevity, we'll say that you guys managed to grab a net, and you're able to grab one of the creatures who's not the last one, and the one that was decapitated, and you manage to drag it up close enough to the boat and kind of pull it. It's very big. There's not a lot of room. You've still got half of the silver spine corpse just sort of like on the ship, and this and Cobb just sort of groans as the boat lurches again and comes off, kind of keels over a little. And what do you want to do with it?
I want to take it back to shore. Guys, I think we might need to kind of call a timeout on this island invasion. Like,
this is the most dangerous 2 miles of ocean that have ever existed.
What in the world? We can't even make it to the storm without losing the ship.
We're almost there, though, right?
You are, actually, as you turn and look over your shoulder.
Yeah.
The slow rocking of the bastion gives way to more aggressive swells as the wind begins to whip around you. The rain starts, slowly at first, and then steadily harder, mixing at times with sleet and hail that starts to pummel the ship and the crew. Brief flashes of lightning that crowned the silhouette of an island you can see in the distance for the first time as the light hits it. They've started to flash more and more. A bright blue bolt strikes the water maybe a dozen yards from where you are, in a blinding flash, as Cobb looks over, startled, and you can see his expression change yet again. Runs over to the rudder. An angry light illuminates the darkening sky as deep thunder booms and rolls out over the water in long, unbroken rumbling. The sea begins to churn violently as a warm gust of air washes over you. For a brief moment, the mist that cloaks the island parts in a thin window, and you can see jagged spikes of stone lining the shoreline that seem like the teeth of an open and waiting maw, as if some gargantuan creature is spilling its hot breath over the waves in your direction. Go! The hideous mouth of the island seems to call out to you. Turn back or be destroyed. But the sail is set, the ship moves onward, the tempest begins to wrap you in its grip. Cobb calls out to leave the creature be as the storm starts to wrap around you. What do you all do?
I puke again.
What does he say? He's telling us to drop the creature?
Or just leave it be?
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, we don't need any extra weight or whatever on the ship. So, like, if it's causing issues,
I mean, he's already on board, right?
He's on board. Yeah.
Oh, he is?
Just leave him
Okay.
there.
It's just
just leave
it's sort
it
of in
on the-
pieces and
do we need to hold any rope? Like,
so at this point, you've made what started to happen is that as you've drifted closer, as the battle has sort of come to an end, the waves have started to pick up, and just as Remus said, and just as Cobb described to you, almost as if in response to your presence, the island has started to flare up. The fury of the storm has begun, and the swells the boat begins to rock as Thorcum violently retches over the side, and the lightning begins to strike, and the rain is pummeling you, and Cobb is just looking in your direction as if, and he kind of looks over and he says, I've seen some amazing things from you lot this morning, and this is where you come in. What are we doing here? We turning back? We sailing on?
I recover and look at kids. And can you control this?
Yeah, I gotta heal myself first. Otherwise, we're not gonna be at Kins.
I'll heal you.
Oh yeah? Thank you.
Mhm. I can heal you for 26.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. How are y'all feeling? Good?
Well, that's definitely a little hurt. but let's do this.
Ben.
Strike of
I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
But I'm useless in this. Like, you magic people, I hope you have an answer, because I can't stab the storm, so
Stab it.
The boat is just violently rocking at this point, and Cobb is desperately looking for you to do something, and he seems like he's on the verge of making a decision here because nobody's doing anything.
Kins would like to cast Call Lightning and take control of this storm and try to push it if possible.
Okay, this is all you. You describe what's going on here. So there is
Okay.
so there's this island that for a long time you didn't see it at all. There's just this unnatural mist on the water, and as the morning sun has risen and the mist has started to burn off, the island in the distance becomes clear, and as you've started to come in, the storm has just gotten wild. It is just violently, just furiously trying to repel you. These giant swells are coming from all directions and just smacking and cresting, and the boat is rocking all over the place, and Velma has begun to she seems really nervous and unsure of what to do. She's just kind of holding on and looking to her grandfather for directions. Kins steps towards the bow of the boat, facing the storm head on. What do you do?
I would like to cast Call Lightning to take control of the storm and push it to the side, because I'm envisioning the islands in front of us and the storm's in between us. Is that correct?
The storm is all around.
It's all around us.
It's everywhere. It's massive. Yeah.
Okay. I would like
You
to.
are in the storm.
Oh, man.
It's not in front of you. You're in it.
Okay. And so it's like waves crashing, everything all around us.
Oh, yeah.
Ocean sort of
Hail
thing.
pelting you in the face
Okay.
as you're. I'm assuming you're not a bear anymore, but you
No,
tell me.
I transformed out
Okay, yeah.
when we finished
I'll hold
combat.
my shield up like at her face.
Okay. Kins's bright idea, excellent plan, is to try to control the storm that is surrounding us and move like the whole ocean and storm forward toward the island.
Okay. So
I don't know what else
just
I
like
need to
pushing,
do.
just like pushing
Yeah, like
the
a
boat.
propel.
You mean,
Like we're all consumed by it, so we're just like traveling with this storm forward
right.
in the
so
direction of the island.
Kins, you rush up to the bow of the boat and you grab one hand on the bowsprit and just hold fast, and with your other hand you begin to weave your magic. Call Lightning. It's an ability that allows you to summon a storm and control it and move it and control the power within it. And as you awkwardly look out, it doesn't make sense, yet it does. Your instinct takes over. You cast your spell, and all of a sudden the clouds above you, they seem to sort of start to swirl as your magic starts to blend with the existing storm. It starts to, the clouds around it begin to almost be sucked into this sort of typhoon that begins up in the sky. And you can see that the surrounding clouds, everything begins to spin, and they all start to converge into this cloud above you. Things begin to calm. A warmth washes over you, Kins, as if you feel this almost this inner voice telling you, you've made the right choice. This is the way. The power of the storm above you, as you control it, you can see that the entire island just seems to relax, for lack of a better term. You feel this sense of welcome, this sense of belonging, as your magic blends with whatever this ritual was that summoned the storm protecting the island. And as the boat continues to move forward, the waves, they turn, and the swells begin to push you towards the island. Not violently, but gently. And you make your way through the veil of the clouds and the mist. And suddenly, you pass through the storm. Your spell disappears. but so does the rest of the storm. Almost like a candle being snuffed out. The turmoil just suddenly ends. The door closes behind you, and you're somewhere else entirely. Looking back, the storm still rages, but you can no longer hear the thunder. The bright, sizzling flashes of light seem farther and dimmer than proximity suggests. It's as if you're behind a wall. The water, too, is still. The jagged rocks that surround the island's southern bay reach up, almost like a palisade wall. The bastion slowly glides past them on the calm water as you continue through a narrow channel and into the cove, the water itself seemingly guiding you on this path. Captain Cobb seems incredibly confused, concerned, but also mesmerized as to what's going on. Velma looks on in just utter amazement at what's happening. You've made it through the storm. The air is thick and close, and the humidity is surprising, but equally surprising is the silence after experiencing the torrent of the storm. The boat, damaged as it is, limps forward through the water towards the broken, rotting pylons of a long-defunct dock when the piercing sense of being watched pricks the nape of your necks. You look around. There are eyes in the water. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh my
All
god.
right.
Oh.
All right.
That was cool.
Good instincts, Kins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
nope.
instincts.
Nope. Nope. Kins has some thoughts,
I mean,
which we shall explore next time.
apparently Snick is real. You know,
Oh,
evil
Snick.
kids might be the.
Maybe they're not so evil. They let us
Maybe
pass.
they're not so evil.
They're just
Maybe they're nice.
protective.
Nothing's good on the water. Get me out of here.
Oh, man.
I almost got drowned again.
You know, it's just the theme.
There are
and Grapple.
themes developing. I'm not happy about one of them. The rest I enjoy. I like that we are all, or at least many of us, are concerned about the potential for delicious food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
We just
Like,
killed a
I
giant
was-
king crab.
That's
I'm
right.
ready
like,
to eat.
So much
30
crab.
seconds away from like, you know what? If these things count as metal, screw the island. We'll just
Yeah.
start hunting these things. Like, just
Also-
have Larissa shoot stuff into the water and call them to the shore. You know?
If we find Winnie's goat, we can make butter. Bingo.
Oh,
Oh,
it's a
Forgot about the
feast.
goat.
butter and crab. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
All right.
Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. This has been really, really fun. This entire episode, if you missed part of it, will be on our YouTube channel in a few days. You can always check that out if you missed any of it, as well as right here on Twitch for a while, so you can catch the VOD there. We will be live again this weekend to discuss the episode, after show, answer your questions, talk about eating crab and butter and things that, who knows, we don't know yet what we're going to talk about. It'll be fun. In our Discord, we do a thing called Photoshop Thursdays, where we take some funny thing that happened and we just do Photoshop battles. So if you're not in
I
Discord,
already wrote it down.
swing by there. It's a lot of fun. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. We really appreciate your support. We are trying to reach affiliate here on the channel, so if you're not already following our Twitch channel, please hit that follow button. It really helps us out a lot. And the YouTube channel, if you could subscribe over there, check out those videos. That helps us out a lot too, as we're just getting started with this. Hope you're liking the content so far. We're having a lot of fun. We are going to say goodnight, and thanks again.